You can do it. Perfect. There we go. Everybody's got water. Everybody's had a chance to pee.
Golden.
Life is good.
Kick
Ready
the tires.
to kick the tires, live your best life. All right. And yeah, T minus 4 minutes. You sound all right. Life is good.
Right.
Cool.
What?
Cool.
Nobody is reverbing. Everything is
Thank
great.
goodness. And I finally got more than 30 frames out of my camera. Wow.
There it is. You're using the 922, or are you using
No,
the...
I got a 4K B-row.
Oh yeah. The most 4K cameras, you're not, they dial in at 24 frames a second for that cinematic look that you don't need for a webcam. This camera, I'm running an Canon M200, will do 4K 24 frames a second, but I don't want it to do that because it crops the frame in quite a bit, and all you would see is like, I would look like this on camera most of the time, and you don't need that.
No.
We were talking about this earlier. I was not abused. I just got hit in the eye by a book by my child.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
I mean, it's technically still abuse.
Well, it was an accident. There was no intent behind it.
The book had intent. The book knew what it was doing.
It was a boo-boo.
It used the child.
It was a boo-boo.
It was a level 2 Barbie Learn to Read book.
Oh,
those are like narrow and sharp.
Yeah. It's really bad. And then she cracked me in the nose with the back of her head because I was like, oh, and she's like, went down and she's like, I'm sorry. And then I gave her a hug and she like wham and hit me in the nose.
That is a barbarian kind of move.
She is most certainly a barbarian. That is
Love it.
That is 100% her class.
But like fighter move. It's a fighter
move.
I love it. That said, it looks like YouTube jumped us on actually. We are live, 100% live. Hi everybody.
It's
hi internet.
Hello.
YouTube wasn't meant to do that, but here we are. So for a little behind the scenes action, no, I wasn't abused. My kid just hit me. I see how it is. That's how it works.
Would you like me to tell you when I see the on-air thing on Video Ninja in the future?
It's a thing that happens. It's never happened before. You know, I blame OBS. I entirely blame OBS.
Fair. Don't blame Ninja. It'll knock us all off.
Yeah, there's that. It'll be all right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Legends of Logomancy, your weekly Monday night TTRPG stream. Tonight, we're in Act 2 of Girl by Moonlight. We're going to be going through a little bit more magical girls and mechs this week. Magical folks and mechs. Yay. Lots of folk. So, how's it? Aside from my injuries, Tamras, how you doing?
Great. I'm excited to see what happened to that other mech that went missing. There's something going on.
I like
there's corruption. There's an inside job. I guess figure it out tonight.
Mel, how's your day?
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm good. Almost no. Okay, so sidebar. Almost nobody calls me that unless they met me when we were in college. Thanks, James. And I've almost gotten to the point where I don't respond to it because I think you call me that like once in a blue moon. But I digress.
You know, it's been too many years for me to call out on the internet since I met you in college.
Yeah. At that point, yeah, too many. But no, I'm doing well. My children don't beat me.
Not physically.
Just in the lasting sense.
Emotional damage.
But no, it's good. Let's go solve intergalactic time-based mysteries.
I like it. Alex, how's your day?
Oh, not so bad. I have a little bit of spreadsheet brain from this weekend, but I'm ready to make some spreadsheets about our divine beasts
I
that
like it.
are destroying our past, future, and present.
Speaking of this weekend was amazing. We had like 250 people show up to FallCon to come learn how to paint minis. We
Oh,
uh, we ran out of minis from Reaper, not including the like 20-ish, 25 that were just like slimes that nobody really wanted to paint. But even on top of that, my partner and I stayed up for hours trying to just like prime a bunch of lizard men that I had kicking around in a bucket, and it was good. We had like 80, I want to say 80 people sign up to learn how to play D&D 5e. Most of the tables we had scheduled for 5 people, and we had 6 or 7 for almost all of them. So
holy, that's an amazing turnout.
it was really good. Not as much love for lasers and feelings, but we got like 3 or 4 tables of like folks in their 50s that are like, I played D&D in the 70s. Let's do this. We played some Guardians of the Galaxy and some Powerpuff Girls and some Magical Girls and stuff. It was a really good time. So
Cool.
Now I'm imagining instead of a barrel of monkeys, it's a bucket of lizards.
yeah, you know, you say that, but $12 at Toys R Us in the 3+ aisle gets you a whole lot of lizardmen and like knights and horses and stuff. And they're a little bit bigger than everything else, but they giant up real nice. Like it works, and it doesn't have to be an expensive hobby. You just, a couple of bucks at Toys R Us. It's a good time. But Xena, how was your week? How was your weekend? How's things? Push to talk.
I was having a really good time. I was thinking a lot about what I was thinking about what my mech, my computer just fixed. So I was thinking about the mechs that we were using. I'm
Mhm.
like, wolf. And did you know there's very little wolf transformation mechs out there? There's like 1 or 2, and then the rest are AI. I'm like, hmm, hmm.
In it, like you posted something in our Discord for that for Zoids,
Yes,
and that was my headcanon for Beowulf completely. Not
exactly.
the Anubis one, but the
Oh,
it's like a watch wolf or a command wolf or whatever it is, the blue one.
I thought that fit, although there might be shenanigans later tonight. We'll see what happens.
I'm down for it.
I'm also very inspired by the wizard like little thing that Alex posted, which was really cool. And I'm like, I did not think wizard looked like that. But looking at it now, I'm like, no, that makes sense. Now that makes a lot of sense. And it's a good thing that Xena upchucked. And then I think Mecha Mecha wise, I listened to what the other members of our party talked about for the Mecha, and I'm like, we need art. I'm like, a little part of me is like, we need art for this. I know people. Well,
It,
I'll think about it. I'll think
if
about it.
if folks want to draw mech art, draw mech art. You have my blessing. Go for it. That said, we're gonna jump into Girl by Moonlight, and we find ourselves. I think we're gonna start with each of you. I gave you a reveal based on the rolls that you had at the end of the last game. What the fallout of your actions were for that game. We distributed some experience. We managed to upgrade the flagship Iliad. You have a mess hall now. So any connections that you make in the mess hall, anytime that you're meeting up and choosing to do whatever there, you get an extra dice to make your connections there. I mean, it's like you put in a cool karaoke machine in the back corner, and there's like, a sandwich station. It's hip and raging right now.
Can it be a DDR machine?
I don't see why it would ever not be a DDR machine.
Obviously.
And we have the crepe station now. Crepes are on
That's right.
board.
That's right. Yeah. Ultimately superior to pancakes.
Sure, in this alternative reality where obviously this is all true.
I tried an enchilada omelet today, and it was really good. We
Sounds good.
we had enchiladas the other day, and I'm like, I'm making an omelet, and I need all of this to just go into it. It was really good. That said, crepe stations ahoy. I think for our obligation phase, everything slows down a little bit, and we find ourselves in the Bastion. And I think we're going to look at Anne first. Anne, for this, you're going about your day-to-day routine of your everyday, pop idol life. And you find yourself in a high-rise apartment. This is a place that primarily you, but occasionally the other members of your group meet and relax when you're meeting your obligations throughout the city. And the obligation phase is a very personal thing with you and maybe some other people around, but as a glimpse into the pressures that you might experience and feel, it's you and Jimmy Sweet in this apartment. And you find yourself all of the decor in here is very, very stylish, but very uncomfortable. Like it's made for photo shoots, not for living in.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like looking out a window. Maybe you're sitting on the furniture or something, and he's giving "You should be captain, man. The fans would love it. You understand the game, kid. Could you imagine the numbers we'd rake in if we had just like 3 more of you side by side? Man, the promos, the press, the live choreographies."
Jimmy,
Yeah.
we've talked about this. We talked about it. We understand that no one but the captain can rouse them up. I tried. You tried. Bill tried. Everyone tried. And it didn't work out.
Yeah, but the captain's getting older, like kids, adults, they could be spending all their views over and over just learning your dance moves and imitating them online. You could be the best use of time ever.
Or we could become redundant, Jimmy.
What do you mean?
You could become redundant, Jimmy.
That'll never happen here.
Oh, really?
Nah.
Why did I just put your post up?
What?
And it just doubled your likes.
What?
Captain's my best friend, Jimmy.
Uh,
And I really don't think that she's gonna like hearing too much if you try and derail her transformation again next time. Jimmy.
It's all just a big He picks up his phone and he flips it out and starts live streaming to an administrative account that owns all 4 of yours.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was the first look at a special behind the scenes skit production that we're experimenting with Anne. Take a bow, Anne.
Thanks so much, Jimmy. I love being here. You're such a doll.
Only for the true fans. And he hangs up his phone and he's like, look, kid, that's not how we're going to be playing this anymore. And if you know what's good for you. And he just starts like reading you a riot act.
My head is just singing our theme song on repeat, and I'm reconsidering exactly what layout I'm going to use on the stage next set.
Mm-hmm. And
Jimmy, you know it was all just a joke, right? You know it's fun. You and I.
Of
we have
course,
plenty of
kid,
fun.
Of course. That's what
So
we
much
do around
fun.
here.
Have you tried the crepes in the new mess hall?
Nah, the gluten.
Oh.
I'm off that.
Still having any issues with your access card?
No, nothing like that. Don't worry about it, kid. Don't worry about
Okay,
it.
I'm so glad we got it figured out for you.
I'll send you a schedule your way for next week. I think there's like 18 more mall tours for you. Don't worry about the others though. They all got separate bookings. We'll get that taken care of. You take care now. You work on those dance moves. And he like goes and slams the door.
Every day, Jimmy. Every day. And I'm gonna make my way back to
How does Anne feel?
angry.
This is an incredibly common occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
It's I want to say Anne probably buffets a lot of it.
Anne and Jimmy have a very specific on-air presence together. And I feel like it is excellent as long as the camera is rolling and just like super tense any other time.
I believe so too.
Because Anne is a decided pain in the butt.
Mm-hmm. I'd like Anne to what does she do next? What do we see? Where does she go from here as a part of her routine? All of the things that she has on her plate, all of the things that are expected of her.
Yeah.
What happens?
Anne does her best to hold the spotlight, understanding the hesitancy of some of the rest of her crew.
Mm-hmm.
And despite her failed attempt at gaining the captain's seat a number of years past, which she was not so disappointed to have passed on, she still tries her best to bring up the morale of bring up the ratings of everything to try and keep the spotlight. And this running gag Jimmy has about her starting to take over everything, she just, as she walks down the stairwell, she takes a deep breath, opens the door to all the fans lining the path and says, "Hi, everybody. It's so nice to see you all." And goes and keeps it
Gets
going.
to it.
That's
Does her job. Does her job. As much as it gets played off as a rapport, you know that there is nothing more than Jimmy would like is to have 4 idols under his thumb doing what he says.
Yep.
But he's working with what he has because you earn him a lot of reputation and money for what passes for money around here.
Anne only gets away with
Chronobucks.
Anne really only gets away with what she gets away with because she at least doubles all of Jimmy's likes when she takes over some of the posting.
Mm-hmm.
And so she, maybe doesn't sleep quite as much as she should. But But I heard really good things about this matcha boba. You really got to go give it a try.
They put something special in it that just peps you up. It's great. I'd like your stress roll for your obligation.
Okay.
So in this case, for Anne, I'm gonna say
probably conceal.
Yeah. Well,
Or
you're doing sun or moon, regardless.
Sun or moon.
Yeah, I think it's more physically taxing than breaking your heart.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is. It's a lot of work.
So in true fashion, as we're playtesting, what Melissa's doing here is seeing how the strains and stresses of her day-to-day life are going to impact her as a magical girl mech riding superhero for the people / idol. What we end up doing there?
Moon?
Yeah. So whatever Melissa rolls, we're going to subtract from 6, and that's how much stress she adds into her little stress meter. How many spoons she's consumed. What do you got? All right. That's a 6. That's good.
Woohoo!
Oh, wait a second. Let me double check. Yeah, no, that's 2. So it is
I get to
not
do
stressful.
another, and I get to do another. No, is that downtime? You get a second one.
Yep.
Okay.
So you just sloughed it off. Just water on a duck's back. Jimmy didn't get to you today. You are not stressed in any way, shape, or form.
That's because I won that little interaction. Uh-huh.
Who's next? You choose.
I choose Captain. You're up.
That was a power move, by the way. Mic drop.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Captain. Based on the information that you got about a month and a half ago, there was an alert that Wukong was no longer in the dome. Missing from the hangar. Dome hangar. It depends on who you talk to and whether or not they have a heart. Some people call it the park, the garden, the warehouse. That one dude. I feel like in this instance, you're in town too, somewhere, because again, you had a really successful sparring session last time around. You showed a great deal of restraint and mercy to your kohai, so to speak, and you buying into some of Jimmy the Sweet's bullshit, where he's like, we're gonna get you signing autographs, you're gonna have a whole plethora of mall tours, it's gonna be great, don't at me, bro. And it's been a good like solid week or two of just like going out and doing the things that, think Captain America on a press tour, where he's like, remember kids, and just like, the message isn't poor by any stretch of the imagination, it's just hollow, it's tedious,
It's scripted.
it's very scripted, to the point where there was one time like a week ago where you kind of deviated a little bit, maybe you were tired, maybe something, and all of the little kids around you stopped, waited for a whistle, and went back to one to get back into character again so you could deliver them your message.
Okay.
Because it's for a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you're going through this, and you get an hour to yourself for the first time in days and days and days. And you find yourself walking through a complex of shops and things like that. And unlike Anne, you can do this by yourself. Like you got people, but people leave you alone for the most part. Occasionally folks will come up and be like, oh my God, I love you. You're an inspiration. This is amazing. Thank you so much for your service. Like genuine folks. But it's not so much for like fangirls. It's more just like people that are thankful. Maybe sometimes folks do have an understanding of the scenario they find themselves in here. That seems to be your base. What do you do? Where do you go? How do you feel about everything that's been happening lately?
Tamris would absolutely be concerned that the mech has gone missing. And despite being shoved into different autograph sessions, interviews, appearances, she's trying to hound people that she believes would have information. Where did this thing go? What do we know?
Mm-hmm.
And she's trying to put these clues together.
You remember a very brief, a brief debrief session from Commander Bartok. And there was a concern of a security breach because the cameras didn't capture anything. They only noticed when they went in for doing a regular maintenance routine into the park, and Wukong wasn't there anymore. And it's not that the epics or the engines don't move within the space. It's very rare that they're observed moving. And it's almost like a camera feed, like was there and then blip and they're gone. So you got it seems like at least the commander is taking it seriously, but there's been no leads at this point. Information was shared with you at your request about different going-ons of the Iliad that match your security clearance, which is much more substantial than anybody else on the team. But that's all that you've heard back from them so far.
That is incredibly frustrating for her. She likes to find patterns. She likes to use her time to make those connections and plan. So having no information except that we don't have any information is very frustrating for her. And I think during this time, when she's not being distracted and pulled in different directions, she's finally taking interest in the fandom. Maybe in the Reddit's fan theories.
I like it. Gotta read those subreddit conspiracy theories.
And I think she would also try to put herself, if she's out in the town, in places where she knows people talk.
What are three of the more infamous fan theories that Tamris has encountered online, and what one is just way out in left field?
So there's been a couple in that it's the other members. Franklin, not quite meshing with his mech, might be stepping out.
Oh,
Trying something else.
I see. Going solo. The bad boy.
Xena, this is a fun one. Being competitive is doing it as a sabotage.
Ooh. Sabotage to the team?
To the captain herself.
Ooh.
Making a push for the captaincy.
I like it.
So those ones have been the fun ones. Those ones are definitely, people like to chat, people like to do drama. She sees, people making things up in their heads, creating enemies where they're not, ships where they are not. And there's an interesting one where it's the producers creating drama, or perhaps a government coup. So those ones, that's a deep dive. She's just sort of picking out. Most recent one, though, would have just popped up was that it's Anne. That something's going on with Anne and the producer.
Aha.
And it is a push.
The name attached to that is specifically like XX $, Jimmy $.
Or Jimmy, that's his name.
Yeah.
Never remember his name. That the producer.
Yeah.
Apparently.
But it's all this guy that's posting it.
Tamris didn't see this post, but there's screenshots out there about Jimmy saying some things to bump Anne up. And Tamris, she loves Anne. Anne is like the golden child in her eyes, just perfect. Everything's been great, biggest support. So that one, she's okay, that's reaching. That one's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I've been
Okay.
framed.
But the other ones are fun. She trusts her teammates, though. She believes that all of them are equally as ridiculous. But inside job, that's interesting.
I like it. Everything that you've encountered in the last little bit, that frustration, getting a glimpse into maybe what the rest of your society thinks of you. And like, never read the comments, but read the comments sometimes, kind of thing.
Once in a while.
Once in a while, perspective is important. But I'd like the captain to roll me your obligation roll.
All right.
So in your case, I think this is probably going to be stars.
I agree. No bonus dice, correct?
No bonus dice
Not
in this
yet.
one. Yeah.
Oh,
1.
I'm stressed.
It's that a 6 minus 1, so you are at 5 stress. This missing epic has you just rattled.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first time in a while that you haven't been able to get to the bottom of something reasonably quick.
Very frustrating.
Yeah. That said, you finish your press tour, and the camera cuts over to whom?
We're going to go with the most likely culprit. Xena.
You're stealing tech all over the place. Come on now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, Xena, you find yourself, you know what, this is an off-base sort of time. So I'm going to say that you find yourself at a local sporting event. And it's called, we're going to call it Calvin Ball. And you're set up to do the first kick and punch. In Calvin Ball, you kick a ball at one person, then punch a ball at a different person. The rules are very complicated and they change almost on a dime, but you have to wear a blindfold. Like that's like a bandit mask the whole time. That's the only thing. And it's one of the few obligations that they've ever given you by yourself when it comes to like the press junkets and things like that. Because every time that you use that what'd you call it, resting boring face, yeah, that's the terminology for it. All of the people around just eat it up 100%. They're just like, ha, classic, love it, almost to an unnerving level, because they think it's a gimmick the whole time, and they think that you're just playing the bad girl in the idol group. And here you are. This is a part of your day. You find yourself literally in the middle of a stadium with thousands of people looking at you as you've done your tasks, and and you're prompted to head towards a long tunnel off the field and let the real players get on there.
I think by that point, Xena will actually wave backwards with resting boring face. The way she's feeling right now is very, she's very kind of stoic, like this is part of the job. She's posted a couple of times, and every time she's posted, her post gets some of the more like the most likes, because she rarely posts. So when she does post, it's like the entire fandom is like, Xena has posted something. Oh my God, protect the munchkin.
I love it.
Because people have made so many stories, and she's read all of the fan fictions and the subreddits. Like, she's just gone full on deep dive. She's like, one of these days, some of these could be useful because there's always truth and a little bit of a speculation. She's one of those people. But she doesn't believe everything that she reads. She just has read them all, including the most recent one by Jimmy S. $, which, by the way, if Tamris goes back to look for those posts, that user account has been deleted because she probably hacked into that URL and
I like it.
sent a threatening message to that individual stating that they know that where they live and where they come from, and if they come after Anne or anyone like Tamris, because most of those things were from Jimmy $, she's going to find them and rip their unmentionables apart.
Extremities off.
Completely. No mercy.
A week later, it's the same one, but with like an exclamation mark and a 69 at the end of it. And you're fairly confident it's the same person, but they're just shit posting.
As they shit post and whatever, she'll just she'll send them a threatening warning with a baseball bat that she's filched from Calvin Ball.
I like it.
With red ink saying, "I know where you live. Stop it."
I like it. From where we're sitting right now, you interacted really well with your companions last week, trying to help Franklin. Franklin's dealing with a bunch of shit at this point, and like he's got problems, y'all. Xena did her best. The captain was put into a bit of a weird spot as well. Anne's been just like, you guys keep kind of a group chat going where you can, it's like a group calendar almost, so you can arrange things together. And Anne's just like blocked off in bright fluorescent pink, like working. Way more than normal. For the first time in a little bit, your tail, we'll call him Al and Cal, your big muscle men, are just like, they're at a distance. They're just like, whatever. You always come home. It's fine. Where do you find yourself? Where do you go to formulate your thoughts, to take your personal time when you're in the city and you're away from base?
When she's away from base, Xena goes to a neighborhood from the 21st century. And this particular neighborhood, she only goes there ever at night. Never during the day, never when someone can spot her. She always goes when Al and Cal are on her tail, leave her, drop her off at home. They think that's where she is. But she's figured out a way to get out of home unseen, unnoticed, even by the doorman and like the numerous security cameras that are near her apartment, because she's got probably double the security than the others because of just how frequently she disappears. And she's probably hacked into each one of the cameras and played a loop of her doing the same monotonous thing, reading a book. This time it's Beowulf. She'll do another video of her reading like something called How to Spot Dummies, one of the 21st century books. Sometimes she'll go on a tablet from the 25th century and be like scrolling through multiple Reddit posts and has figured out how to do coding from home specifically for research purposes and like doing studying things. So she's able to loop those kinds of videos to kind of show like every day a difference, because she knows how security cameras work. And she tries to make sure that she's never out for longer than 6 hours at a time. So about the span of like a long night's rest. But once she goes into that 21st century block, into this 2-story brownstone apartment complex that she's bought under a different name, because she be like that sometimes. She is now in her den. This is her den. No one knows about it except her, and even the neighbors don't even know who's there, because she's rented out a portion of the brownstone to a little old lady that shops every night and comes back home regularly, and she's rented that space, like a portion of that space, just specifically for that little old lady. While behind closed doors, she has soundproofed certain areas of the brownstone so that she can do experiments, run research, and do a whole bunch of the behind the scenes that her teammates doesn't know that she actually does on their behalf, and basically does bot swipes. So she sends bots to go after bots that are attacking her teammates. And she's one of the biggest proponents of certain fan bases for her teammates, leaking certain information out to those fan bases, particularly Anne's and hers, because they are the strongest fans out there. And she knows that her fan base is the strongest physically, but they're also like former military folks from the 20th or 21st centuries, the ones that are more prone to violence and military like kind of mindedness. And she's able to kind of poke around a couple of different places. While she's in her den, what she has decided to do is in this space, she knows how the loss of Wukong has really took a hit on Captain Tamris's ego, and she's looking at video footage that she's been able to procure with the help of Beowulf, because she has such a strong attachment to Beowulf that they kind of have enough of a connection that they're able to kind of not necessarily talk because they can't talk, but share.
You
like
were
you know,
able to pull, I'd say, a bit of a feed from Beowulf in the the time in between when this came to light for you, and it's mostly just a silent video that, seen through as though through Beowulf's eyes, and you turn, or Beowulf turns, and Wukong sits on a cloud and turns back, and the cloud is gone and Wukong is gone. Like the span of, it's like a 15-second loop going back. And like you understand the speed of the epics. They're not running around most of the time when you're not interfaced with them. And it seems odd. But how do you feel about all of the tasks that you're taking on and the pressures that you have to look out for these people? And it's always you looking after them.
Xena doesn't really express her feelings very much, but she feels sad. Like, it's very sad to see her pack so downtrodden because, similar to Beowulf, she sees her other 3 team members, even if she's like the worst person at communicating her feelings, like 1000% of the time, unless they get on her nerves to a degree that she has to pull them aside. She feels very, very sad and really disappointed at the system. And she's always been disappointed with the system, but more so than usual. And so she keeps replaying that 15-second loop. And she says and thinks to herself, like, she has to somehow covertly send this over to Tamris somehow without Tamris tracing it back to her. And like that's her main motive right now, is figuring that out.
Okay. I think that something like that, hang on to that might fit for your downtime, I think. But we'll roll your obligation. And in Xena's case, I feel like your obligation, well, you're defaulting to Moon because it's the thing that you don't have any points in. And this is where your heart is breaking just a little bit on it feels almost hopeless because anytime that you fight against the system is real big, and it's designed to take advantage of the individual. Go ahead and roll me Moon.
Should I use perceive for that one, or
You can just click Moon for this one. Just in the XP bar there. So we're taking the lower of the two, and the lower of the two you have is a 4. So that's 2 points of stress. Doing what you're doing. Now that stress did reset at the end of the last session, so that puts you at 2. And you focus, and you do the things that you feel only you can do, and try and contribute best you can a little bit at the expense of your own body, and taking on those stressors that go along with it. And it brings us to Franklin.
Oh boy.
Franklin. Piloting the wizard is physically taxing.
Doesn't feel great.
Doesn't feel great. And you find yourself in the same apartment building. It's like the penthouse is exclusively used for when the cameras are rolling, where they can get footage of you guys interacting with each other, playing out skits, that sort of thing. But a couple of floors down, like there's a gym, there's a quiet apartment that you'll switch up and do your tech streams from. And you find yourself lying on a table, a slab, face down. And from behind, it's like, sometimes you just gotta go for it, kid. You gotta show guts. Let that shining love be an example to the people all around you. And you feel 2 hard thumbs dig their way into the back of one of your calves, as Franklin is undergoing a little bit of physical therapy with one of the practitioners that he normally sees to. This is Dr. Love. He's got a massive fake wig and like some Love Guru glasses. Not wearing any shoes whatsoever. And Dr. Love is probably one of the only reasons, aside from Franklin's dedicated physical regiment, that you're able to keep up the pace that you go. He is, for all intents and purposes, think Guy Sensei, where he's just like, it's all about guts. You just gotta do it. You gotta be a shining beacon of love for the people around you, and everything will work out okay. And like cracks your spine.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's true. It's just hard to think about when I'm in there.
Well, I mean, the mirror is the reflection to the soul, my boy. So you said that there's lots of mirrors in there. All you got to do is reflect your soul with love.
Yeah, but I don't think they're mirrors. I think they're 4-dimensional filaments. A little to the left. Oh yeah. You know, I'm not.
This is called the pretzel. Oh.
You know, I'm not thinking it so much. It's not so much a problem of my, my mindset, but I think it's a problem of like my literal gray matter.
Well, maybe you just gotta get that matter pink, my dude. Just like, I wonder.
Franklin looks around. He looks over at like a cabinet that's decorated with like big dragons and pink things, and like actually, I wasn't thinking about pink for my brain. I was thinking maybe blue.
Oh, there's some tubular cylinders lining the wall.
Yeah, I was like, I think it's a question of what my mind can see. And I was wondering, Dr. Love, I know they do experiments and tests and things so we can fire our weapons will be effective against the divine beasts, but what advances have we made in the realm of pharmacology?
Well, I mean, anything that we've ever experienced is just a substitute for blazing hot passion.
Right. But in terms of igniting that passion, what are we looking?
Oh wait, you're asking for something blue that ignites the pat.
Yeah,
cool. Hold on a second.
Basically, he's asking for So he wants him to bust out the drug cabinet.
He does. He busts out a bunch of little blue pills that will ignite the passion at Franklin's request.
I'll take a look at some of these.
He's like, I'm not even gonna ask, but I trust you to make your own decisions based on your own competencies. Good luck with that. And he goes and he puts on these big rubber boots that come up to the knee. And he's like, I think you're good. I think you've got everything that you need for right now. Everything that you need to succeed was in you all along. And he grabs a mop and a bucket and he puts on his coveralls again because he is Dr. Love, janitor to the stars. And he goes outside and continues mopping the floor. He's a man of many skills.
God. Franklin gets up off the table. So yeah, I think Franklin's maybe his obligation in this is he's trying to learn more, not just about the divine beast, but he's trying to learn more about the wizard. And maybe he wants to go digging around in that cabinet. He's asked for something mundane. He wants to get in there and start looking for the divine beast parts.
Okay. Oh, we're going full on Pacific Rim here. I love it.
Yeah, he wants to get in there and dig around and look. And
I feel like that's going to be part of a downtime for certain. Given everything that Franklin experienced in the last few weeks, you were left to your own devices. No press junkets. Like there was this one thing where they're like, cheese. And took a picture of all four of you. That was it. And they're like, we'll call you when something comes up, and slam the door. Franklin's been left to his own devices the whole time. You don't even have a security detail right now.
Yeah.
Which isn't completely uncommon. Like it happens sometimes. They're like, you're fine. No, but nobody is gonna want to abduct you. You'll be okay. How does he process that?
I think for once he really does want to get into. He wants to get into everything. He does seem like he's focused on not controlling the wizard, but finding out more and trying to be like a useful member of the team and finding more about the divine beast. So maybe he will try to fix up his prop plane and he will try to do a flyover of their last battle and see if he can find anything. Yeah.
So I'm gonna put that one into making preparations for the next section. We'll put a pin in there. I'm gonna get you to roll your obligation for Franklin. Yeah. You've got some stressors on you at this point, and I think Franklin's. This is probably. I think it's sun. Everything that you've been doing is physically taxing to you. Much more so than I feel like Anne has the most the least soldier body type out of everybody on the team, and she's just like, I don't know what the big fucking deal is, guys. Like, this was great. I stood on the stage, I did some poses. Like, you work up a sweat, it's really good, but it's like Zumba. Meanwhile, Franklin's like got an arm brace on.
Zumba's exercise too, guys.
Zumba is totally exercise.
Join me
He's
at the
sweating the
DDR.
oldies.
I'm gonna beat you all.
It's headcanon now. Piloting Romeo is a DDR pad. That's how it works. You want to go forward? Dance.
And throw in some Just Dance things. So like there's arm movements and foot movements. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's also
and every time that I slip up, it's like, oh, you fell out of formation.
bad. Excellent. Step mania. You got little earbuds, so you're dancing to your own tunes as well. But yeah, Franklin's got some stuff to process.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a 3 on a sun roll. That's 3 points of stress that Franklin's taking into his day from his mundane life. And I'd say, like, there's nobody keeping an eye on you in any of this stuff. You have free reign of the majority of this building. This just happened to be a useful place that Dr. Love pulled you into one day. And he's like, I get you right fixed up. Oh, yeah. And 3/4 of your interactions with the man have been, we're going to go outside. We're going to do squats on the roof. Oh, yeah. Underwater squats with weights. Oh, yeah.
And the whole time Franklin is doing all of these things, he's in like not very aerodynamic or ergonomic, like 1930s clothing. So he's just like in big boots and stuff, like doing all of these squats and things. He's not having a good time.
Yeah. But Dr. Love is absolutely convinced 100% that all of your problems can be solved by just hot burning passion in everything that you do. And anytime that you're encountering a problem, it's just because you didn't channel your hot burning passion into that particular task enough that particular time. You know, forgot your keys at home, forgot your hot burning passion for remembering your keys. I mean, I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. That's how it works. But with that, our cast have gone through their days. You've experienced a little glimpse into all of the day-to-days that happen. And we go to our downtime phase. This is an area that you get to interact with each other using the system. You share your thoughts. You can form links. You can make preparations. You can work on projects. We saw last session what happens when you don't talk to a particular team member and leave them without any links. It makes things a little bit challenging. It happens. It's fine.
We didn't die.
Nobody died. It was good.
Died.
Session 1 was easy mode. I said that right from the get-go. That said, we're going to carry on with Franklin because you had a couple of things that you wanted to try. So the first,
yeah, I think. I think the first is probably going to be and it's not investigation here. It's make preparations for the purposes of our series.
Yes.
So when you make preparations, you start getting information on the kaiju. So I guess because Franklin has been left unattended for so long, he does have that barn out on a lonely hill somewhere on Pangea where he can take that prop plane out. He's gonna gas her up, and Dr. Love is gonna be there with the cones, moving him along this bumpy, grassy runway, and he's gonna go and do a little bit of black and white air reconnaissance photography over the site of their last battle with the turtle. See if he can find some information.
So, in this case, I feel like you're either perceiving or you're analyzing. What do you think?
I think as much as I want to say analyze, he's not going to let anybody else look at these, so I think it's going to be perceived.
All right, go ahead and roll perceive.
Not much.
That's bad. Not only do you not get any information from your reconnaissance, rolling a 2 and a 1 from a risky position, because you're flying what amounts to a biplane.
Yeah.
Where dinosaurs live. You've completely botched the opportunity to gather information in this regard. You gain nothing useful in this way.
What would you say that maybe even the plane becomes a vulnerability?
I would say I'm gonna get you to roll to resist getting hurt as your plane fucking crashes.
That makes sense.
You turned it around, you went back, plane's going down. Go ahead and roll to resist. Taking the lower of the 2. So that's going to be 3 stress on that resist. Unless you have something that you can do about it.
I'm not sure what I can do about it. I think that would eclipse me, but I get an additional die against rolling eclipse.
Yep. I don't think it does, because that's 6 minus 3, so you'd get you still have 1 left on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had 3 before, and then I have 6 minus 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't think he can do much. I think he's just eat it.
It's pretty stressful. You put a lot of work and effort into this plane, and in keeping it private. And it's probably going to be a while before you can interact with it again, and require some kind of a downtime to actually repair it as we go. With that, you'd mentioned something else.
I'd mentioned something else, but I don't think he's going to do that. I think what's going to happen is that Franklin's bad luck continues on the Iliad, because he is still not doing a great job at improving the environmental controls, and maybe he is in the mess hall working on it when he and Anne are discussing it.
Okay. So you're trying to have a moment with Anne.
Yes, make a connection.
All right. Go for it. You find yourselves in the mess hall.
What happened? You look like someone hit you in the face with a book.
Well, it's not just that. Okay, go over there to the crepe station and adjust the fan over the vent.
Sure.
And the minute you flick it, it turns the sprinkler on. Like the water.
That doesn't seem right.
No, it's not. I think I got fire suppression system routed through routed through the air conditioning somehow.
So if I go and try to turn on the water, we're gonna stop overheating?
No, that activates the anti-vacuum measures.
Oh my gosh, it's like a choose your own adventure. I want to flip all the switches.
I just can't get anything to work right this week. It's like my black thumb has turned a color that would not be good for machines.
Franklin, hey. You remember when we were out there against those monsters?
Yeah?
Yeah. Do you remember how you were able to get that machine going? And you and Wizard, you fused. You just did it. Do you remember that?
I mean, yeah, but it's kind of fuzzy.
And do you remember what happened to Paul when he tried to fly the Wizard before you got possession?
Yeah, he finished the 3rd grade last week. I think he's going to be like a full-grown adult pretty soon.
Yeah, I think his babysitter might let him come visit next week.
I know.
He's going to be real good in a decade.
Franklin, I think I think that it's how we handle the challenges and how the face we put on to face them that shows what we can actually accomplish when we try hard. Failure just gets us one step closer. I couldn't have figured out how to attach the fan to the water systems.
Yeah, but that's because you're good at everything. You're even good at dealing with all of the cameras and the people, and I don't know if they're ever gonna let me do that stuff.
You know, want to know a secret?
Please.
I don't know how to dance.
Wait, what?
So the camera, Jimmy and I had to finagle the camera in Romeo, because I don't know where to put my feet. So just off screen on the floor, there's little dots on the ground and they get brighter as my foot's supposed to go down. It's all an act.
That's not an act, that's dancing. Let me show you.
No.
And I will pull Anne onto the machine and I will flick the fan on so it rains, and we'll do a little DDR dance to Singing in the Rain.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to that's worth an extra dice for your
Nice.
For your downtime.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's gonna be confess for me.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Whiskey, standard, and then one, no, not transcendent, but one bonus dice.
Yep.
Hey, it's 6.
Nice.
I like it. So, because you're doing your downtime, that's 4 segments marked or links given.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
4 links given to Anne.
Yep.
Thank you.
And she could even spend them later to help you deal with some of that stress. It'll be a good time.
It'll come back, friend. Don't you worry.
Perfect.
May I suggest you have a soothing cup of tea?
Oh boy.
But the tea is in a very ornate floral cup. It's highly floral.
Oh boy.
Anne, since we've got you, is there? We'll jump to you because that's 2 activities for Franklin in downtime.
So I want. Oh wait, there was something supposed to happen in the mess hall. Did he get his extra die for the mess hall?
I mean, it was still. I can roll another.
It was still a 6, so it's okay.
Yeah.
It was still a 6. Yeah.
But if it was a critical, doesn't he get more?
It was a critical.
No,
No, critical success is 2 6s.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll another die. Pretty close.
Had to check because I would get another point, and they're important.
And he would get a point.
And he would get a point. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Anne really wants to talk to the captain in the mess hall.
All right. Now is Tamaris busting a move?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
While balancing a plate of crepes on her head.
Probably. Absolutely.
Man, our dental bills are so high.
No, she would be definitely nose in a book. That's kind of her thing is stats. So it's nose in a book over the crepes.
So I like to think that you're sitting at the end of like a long table with you're right on the end reading your book, and Anne, you're over here reading a book, and Anne sits down, looks over at you. Hi, Captain.
Hi, Anne.
What you reading?
This one is The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that's a classic.
It is, and I thought, why not give it another try? Maybe there's something missing.
Yeah.
Context clue.
Franklin's been having a hard time.
He has, and I'm afraid his spar with me might have knocked his confidence down a little.
You know, I think we all remember struggling in the beginning with our mechs. In some ways. I know when you and I sparred, it was a beautiful, if humbling experience.
I remember it well. It was my first day as captain. And it was a big shoe to fill. I couldn't even get my feet into Goliath properly. It wasn't connecting very well. The fists were just massive. I was this tiny little thing.
I'd never seen anyone fill the shoes better than you.
You mean that?
I wouldn't lie to you.
I know.
You're a great captain. And we'll figure out what's going on. Don't you worry. We got your back.
I know. We are a good team. The trust, I feel the trust is there. We wouldn't have been able to take down the giant turtle had it not been.
Or that sloth that almost ate Anne.
Or that sloth that almost ate you.
Almost ate me.
Though I'm pretty sure that if it did, the digestion it would have had, you would have just given it the most wild ride.
When my fans say I'm a snack, that's not really what came to mind.
You know what? I have seen that hashtag recently going around a little bit.
Oh, don't dive too deep in the comments. Rubbish down there.
I walked too deep in some certain directions, and I have regrets and learned some new words.
Interesting tidbit. The only thing slower and lazier than a sloth is a koala.
There was a fan fiction about a koala.
Yeah.
Yep.
Slow, lazy, have chlamydia.
I thought fanfiction on koala was banned after they were deemed to be too slow.
There is a certain site. That's where I
for
fell.
all your ex-koala needs.
Yeah, it's called AO4.
I feel like this is the point where we just have like Red coming up in a very anime style fashion, being like, "Well, that's great."
The extra O was not needed.
I love it.
Okay, and yeah, just trying to, and by her very nature is very in tune with the stress levels of her team, and wanted to form a connection with the captain.
Definitely brightened right here, I think.
Going to empathize.
Connections said so.
Given that you're doing this in the mess hall, you get to add a bonus die. Oh.
Thank goodness for that. You get
Wow.
So that's a 6.
So you do it.
4.
So that's 4 segments marked or links given. In this case, links. Yeah. If you guys were working on a project together or something of that nature, we use the segments marked.
No, I just want cheesy interactions with my friends, okay?
All right, that's fine. Look, I didn't want to build anything. I just wanted to show blazing hot passion.
Listen, she'll get me smiling enough that I will agree to a selfie for her posts. It's PR. Show a front.
Is it a front or is it behind the scenes?
It's a behind the scenes.
Oh, I like to think that we get the first one that's like really genuine, and Anne just kind of looks down at it and moves it into like a personal folder and says, "And now one for the gram."
And you're like,
it's like extra, like the facades are full on. It's like Jimmy would never let me post the first one.
The very first comment is Jimmy the Sweet being like, "Perfection, exactly what I've come to anticipate from you two." I love it.
We're good at our jobs.
It's a little too passionate, though. Towing down the passions. No. He's Billy Crystal now? Oh, God. Oh.
I'd like to go to the the garden. Can't remember the name of it.
The Epic Park.
Yeah, the Epic Park. So I want to go to Epic Park, and I want to take a look around the where the Epic left. Like I want to where the other Epic that's gone missing. Romeo over time I feel like has slowly kind of migrated slightly, and now he's like pensively looking down at the spot where the other one used to be.
So are you approaching this in a like trying to gather information sort of way? Are you trying to do this through a bond with your engine?
I'm trying to use Anne is never more connected to her sister than when she is in contact with Romeo, and can't figure out what's gone on. She's usually very aware of the camera systems and where all the cameras are in there. And she's been trying to see if there's any actions in the dome that would cause the camera systems to give out. If there's anything that they would know that the government would knowingly remove from the feed so that we couldn't look into it. So she's basically been going into the dome and doing things she's not allowed to do, like
it's
moving.
It's not illegal to have leisure.
No, I know.
Frowned upon.
And Anne flaunts it.
Yeah.
She's just, I don't know what.
Somebody on the back of a monitor is like, "What's she doing, sir? She's dipping her toes in the water. What the fuck would she do that, sir?" It's just Spaceballs.
Yeah. I feel like she's been like standing on Romeo's shoulder and going and physically checking all the camera systems around the building for the last little while.
Nothing seems amiss in that regard. But I'm going to call that bonding with your Epic.
Okay.
Or bonding with your engine in this case. So go ahead and roll. It's the same as what you just did with Tamris.
Yeah. Controlled standard. No. Excellent. It's another 6. We're going to need those in a while. Roll20. Can you not give us all of them quite yet?
So because it's a 6, you're looking at 4 marks or 4 links with Romeo.
Got it. That will be my downtime.
All right. Tamris, we'll jump over to you.
All right. Do you want to start with a cute one or a weird one?
Always go weird.
Always go weird. All right. While Tamris has been deep in the interwebs, she's created a bit of a secret profile for herself. And she's been pointed into a direction to have a secret rendezvous with someone also deep into it with information that perhaps might have some extra footage or something.
You are going in a weird direction with this, aren't you?
Huge weird direction.
All right. That's what we're doing. Secret profiles with secret footage on the internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something's weird.
All right.
She's going to shake her security team. Not very well.
Okay.
But she's going to find herself outside of a brownstone house with a little old lady with a shopping cart going through all of her things, maybe trying to find her keys. And
"Oi, they were here just a little bit ago, and I don't know where they are." And they're literally around her neck on a lanyard that says, "Don't lose your keys again." It's got one of those stringy, like, badge pulls on it.
yeah, she's gonna have a little bit of a hood up, and she's gonna go, "Psst,
"Yeah?"
are you the bat? The one that's gonna lay down the hammer?"
And she looks up at you, genuinely perplexed, and she's like, "Where are my glasses?" And they're on her face, and she's like, "Ah, I haven't laid down the hammer in so long. You don't even know." "I don't think so. I wonder about that."
That's okay. My mistake. Tamris is gonna move past her and just try knocking on the door.
"Oh, let me get that for you." And she immediately grabs her keys and unlocks the door.
Is there someone else that lives here?
"Well, there's the nice lady that tells me not to talk about her."
That's who I want.
"Oh,
Please take me to her."
oh, okay." And she's like, "I need to put my groceries down first," and does so. And everything is neat, and it smells neutral. Like there's no like stupid Glad plug filters anywhere or anything like that. Scent is a very intrusive thing for a lot of people. And
Tell us how you really feel.
I love it.
why can't soap just smell like soap, damn it? It just needs to be soap. And she like goes and she unlocks her own door, and it's got like 6 deadbolts on it. There's no reason for it whatsoever. It's just a proclivity of certain people and the time period that they were born in. And she's like, "Down there, down those stairs, you'll find a big metal door. And I've never been on the other side of it, but I'd never seen her go anywhere else. Bye!" And goes inside.
But does she actually have a hammer?
I haven't laid the hammer down in a long time.
Not what I meant. Tamris will just start going towards this metal door.
You hear, just for lasting effect, a telltale, like when you used to sign into ICQ if you're dating yourself and being really old, you hear like a telltale sign of her signing into some sort of a streaming app, and it's like, "All right, boys, we're gonna lay the hammer down tonight." as you walk away. And you're not entirely sure if she's doing some FPS gaming or something a little more secret profile on the internet-y. But that's to Tamris's imagination.
Amazing. She's going to straighten her shirt, pat down her hair, make sure it's tied back as nicely as it is, clear her throat, take a big, brave breath, and knock really, really lightly on that door.
Xena, you hear a tap, tap, tapping at your chamber door.
Xena's already
Nevermore.
I love it. Xena has already made sure that the security detail that Tamris has not shaken is already gone, and she's already monitoring that particular situation from like a very fancy, like from an iWatch that she has hacked into from like 21st century, made it all 25th century, updated with different gadgets and gizmos aplenty. And she's already gone, okay, great. And she comes in through the front back door, goes in around, because she never uses the front door. She always enters through the back. She enters the back door, goes into the side door into the house, says, "Hey, Gladys. Oh, nice. Valorant. Good game. Have fun.
She's
Beat
got
'em."
she's got massive like fox ears on a headset,
Yes.
and like it's for all intents and purposes, it's one of those like gym jugs for lifting 2 liters of water, and it's full of something bright. It's not supposed to glow green, but she's like, I love it. It keeps me going.
Love it, Gladys. Keep the good work. Is my guest here?
Laying the hammer down, Bear. Laying the hammer down.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'll see you later. And she goes all the way down the stairs, pops up behind Hammers and goes, "Hey."
Holy shit! Stina!
Move for a second. This thing is DNA coded. 1 second. Pricks her finger on like the pad, enters a thing, does a whole facial recognition, swipes the fancy wristwatch that's on her. Multiple deadbolts later, it kind of creaks open and she kind of has to push it open, and then she goes,
Pop it, twist it, turn it.
Exactly. Actually, that's what it says.
I love it.
As instructions.
You notice she's very good with her hands.
Very good. And she pushes, and Xena goes to, "Come on in. Are you going to stand at the door, Captain?"
For a moment, this was you the whole time?
Yeah. How else was I going to get you to come down? Like the worst name ever. Come on.
Bookworm Guardian was perfect. There was no way, no one would have known it was me.
Nope, I didn't know whatsoever. Pushes the door closed as soon as Hammers gets in.
What is this?
Locks up all the doors, multiple deadbolts, lots of beeps later, bots later, multiple things, and welcome to the den.
The den. You have a den.
Well, yeah. How else was I going to do my stuff? I'm not doing it at the park. It's going to be in here. Takes off the wristwatch, puts it into a secure place. I made you one in case you ever want one, now that you know about this place. Oh, by the way, I'm going to need your blood.
I have so many questions.
I'm pretty sure you do. Okay, glad that you're here. Have a seat. I pulled up this video feed from Beowulf. Pulls it open, shows you the feed. I can't lie to you. You're my captain. You would know. If I was lying to you about anything except this. This I kept secret from you for all intents and purposes. Because I need my own space. If you want a cubicle, I can set you up with a cubicle. It's all fine. So you can do your own research. But if you're doing that, let me make sure I do all the safety protocols so that your IRL URL doesn't get traced back to here. I gotta make sure my IP is protected. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I don't even know who you are. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a nice little place. Gadgets and gizmos from the 21st century all the way up to the 25th. 25th is a little bit harder to code and manipulate, but anything between 21st and 23rd,
There's a
easy.
bunch of brain stuff that goes along with it that you really got to like plug your brain into as you get into the higher centuries.
Yeah, I wasn't willing to poke holes into the back of my brain cells and go through that echo chamber. That one is a bit of doozy. Weird programming, super matrixy, if you know what I mean. All the zeros and ones, terrible.
It's less a thumbprint and more a spinal fluid identification. Totally like no bueno.
Yeah, don't do it.
You're shown that like 15-second soundless video. There's the sound of like a digital gramophone playing back in the corner from the time that you open the door. The lights went to just the right ambiance as the door opened. You see a small sensor on the floor that like the door swept. And as Xena stepped in, she put her foot on a very specific floor tile that it's almost like putting your key into a vehicle that has multiple different keys and the seat goes to where it needs to be.
Oh.
Xena knows where to step to not necessarily activate defenses in the home. It's like having a floorboard in the front of your bar that always squeaks, and the regulars know not to step on it, and anybody that does gets charged 3 times as much for a drink. You're socially coding in like against the stranger always squeaks the floor. Xena stepped where she knows to step, and the ambiance is to her liking and comfort. Xena, you know that there are other places that if you had stepped with your left foot first, they're auto turrets, and I mean they're fine, but it's a thing. Look, sometimes you gotta protect the things that you like and the people that you love. It's a thing that happens. You think Gladys isn't packing heat? Come on now. Sweet old lady, she knows. But this video feed that's presented to you is just, again, 15 seconds of scene from on high of Beowulf turning ahead. And you see Wukong. You pause it. And they're sitting cross-legged, floating on a cloud like 20 feet off the ground. And it's something that you've seen before. And the face strikes you as odd. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to perceive on this. Because of your specific abilities, you are the guardian of the group, you're the captain. This is essentially an opportunity for I'll give you a free extra link with Xena if this pulls off.
Sure.
And of course, XP in Moon.
What position am I doing it from?
You are controlled in this case. You're sitting comfortably in front of a monitor.
Could I take on an extra stress to assist my teammate?
You absolutely can. Go ahead and roll 1 extra dice, Tamris. Unless, technically, Tamris is your rival. Do you have any special abilities for that? When you're doing something related to your rival?
I've got... I chose Jaded, so I may expend special armor to resist any consequences of your rival's actions or to act before your rival does. And I don't think that would apply for here.
Yeah. Yeah, so nothing specific in this case. Tamris, you got a 3 and a... If you want to roll it again, I'll give you a second dice because Xena's lending a hand.
Sure. Boom.
Beautiful.
Wow.
With increased effect, you do it, rolling a 6. You've seen Wukong before. Several times. Like you've spent your fair share of time in Epic Park. And this is the first time you notice something. Xena, you didn't catch this. Wukong normally has a golden circlet around their head. They are the Monkey King. And in this case, it's in their hands as they sit there kind of cross-legged, and it's sitting like this in their hands. It's the first time you've ever seen it removed from their head. And as the video swings back, they're gone. Like, faster than an engine generally moves.
That's way too fast for an engine to move.
Funny how that works. You get a point of XP in Moon, and Xena, you get a link in this regard because of what Tamis did. Again, it's pushing the system a little bit, but there should be extra things here.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the first that you've seen this.
I haven't. Like, I've replayed this loop over and over and over again, and it's too quick. I've even slowed it down so that I can see what happens between the time they're sitting on the cloud and the time that they've disappeared. And I just can't catch anything. Beowulf didn't see anything. I don't know about the other mechs, but this is what we caught, and this was the only piece of video. It doesn't make sense that all of our security cams within the park would go down like that. It doesn't make sense to me. There's about 100 cameras, and I've seen Anne. I mean, like, and you can see the security footage filter that she's placed because she's put trackers in every one of everybody's things, and also a security camera. Don't ask how I did it. I just asked for permission from the mechs, and then they allowed me. Don't ask. Wizard was a little bit difficult because we had that weird insect. Like, Wizard is like an insect on the inside. Let me tell you, it's like looking through the eyes of a chameleon. Like, weird as F machine, but really cool. Really, don't go inside. I'll make you barf. Anyway, and because she's in her safe place, you've gotten more words out of Xena in this space than you've ever have outside. Anyway, Anne's been looking at the mechs, and she's going the wrong way with that. Anyway.
First things first, I underestimated you completely, and I apologize for that. I thought you were all buff, no brain. I am so sorry for not seeing who you truly are. But now that I have, you know that there's theories that you are messing with the cameras inside, and that now seems somewhat possible. I'm not saying this is you, but keep that in mind.
Well, I mean, there is a little bit of truth in those theories. I have messed with the cameras in Epic Park, but only for security purposes. And you look over and you can see like multiple screens that she's mounted of almost every camera. And if she hits a button, you can tell that there's a button that says switch to next set. And she's got like screens of every camera in Epic Park on on a couple of the big screen TVs that she has in the space. But it was for a good reason. And I didn't even catch anything on the security feeds when I saw that happen. Shh. No.
Is that my reading nook?
Yes.
That screen right there.
No.
Do you watch me read?
Maybe. No. No.
Okay. The fact of the matter is you've provided such good information here. We need to find out what that circlet did, what its function was. That might be the key here.
I do have a theory about that. You know how like every one of our mechs have like gems where people sit in?
Yes.
I've looked at Wukong a couple of times. That circlet goes on top of their head. It's almost like some sort of shielding mechanism. I'm not really sure because I've never tested Wukong, but from what I saw, it goes over the chest piece area, and usually when that happens, someone might be inside of it.
Maybe, but you know who would know the mechanics of Wukong?
Franklin.
We gotta talk to him.
Although Anne might know a little bit about what's going on there too.
Probably. She knows everything.
No, she doesn't. She tries.
People feed her everything. She pays attention.
She's
Anne
really good.
Taylor Swift level fans.
She does. We got the Easter eggs.
If
I'm like,
here's the thing,
you've
if
got the strong fans. They come out in number.
they're like the BTS fans, where it's like all it would take is a single tweet to be like, "Bring me the head of this person, no questions asked." A lot of people wouldn't like it, but it would still happen.
I found this crepe place because I said I'm feeling like crepes, and then orders began arriving.
All right.
Well, anyway,
Okay.
sorry.
Well,
I digress.
you're right. You're right. They would come after us.
Right. I think we should split our efforts. I have to go and speak to Franklin about something completely different. If you want to talk to Anne about the circlet, what she can use her fan base to figure out lore type stuff, rumors, all of like the Easter eggy type stuff. And I will sit with Franklin and maybe see what he knows.
I mean, I can try. I mean, I've hacked into her account before. Sure.
I
I'm just gonna keep that one a secret.
Listen,
between
there
us.
was this one.
I don't want to hear it.
Julia!
Privacy is important. I will forego the Nook, but you do not hack into Anne's stuff.
Fingers crossed behind her back, and she's like, sure.
All right. I'm gonna give her like an awkward fist bump. This is how you do it.
Are you trying to punch me?
See, this is how you.
Suddenly you get a block with her. No.
You got a headbutt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oops.
It happens when your dad is from the Neolithic and your mom is from the 21st century.
Oh.
Wapow. I need a roll from you, Tamris. Let's see how many links that you give Xena.
Do you have a specific one in mind?
Just you're just rolling your d6 in this case.
6. Oh, right.
Yeah, you're rolling your downtime roll.
Yeah.
4. That would be 3 links given to Xena.
Aww.
Plus the extra one
Plus
that
the
you got
extra.
for the... So 4 total, Xena. That's downtime number 1 for Tamris. Downtime number 2. You said you wanted to speak with Franklin.
I'm gonna find him in the mess hall.
Mm-hmm. What's Franklin doing in the mess hall?
I think he's either still working on the environmental controls, or he is, or he's trying to fiddle with the crepe station and cook something that is not a crepe on it.
So, like, the DDR station rains,
Mm-hmm.
and the crepe station shoots fire at the rain because you're trying to balance it out. And it's just this whole place, Tamris, you walk in and it's steamy. And eating crepes in a steamy room seems like a terrible idea.
I'm gonna like try to like wipe some of the like steam away in the air. Franklin?
Yep. Captain, sorry. And knock over tools and stuff as I'm trying to get over there.
Glasses are a little fogged over.
You are working on something important, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I've
The
got
mess hall's never looked better. First of all, I wanted to talk about you and Wizard. And I would love to say that I empathize with your position, but I don't. Part of the reason why I was given this role was because how quickly and how efficiently I was able to interface with Goliath. It was almost identical to David's interface. There was no difficulty, and I couldn't imagine what it would be like for you to not being able to do that.
Just laying it on thick on you. Right
But
there.
I read recently an old book, which I think your mech was inspired by a little bit. The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, I've never read it. I've only seen the movie.
Oh. Well, the movie's great.
The sequel is horrendous and horrifying.
Has anyone told you about the wizard? Like his personality?
I mean, I've got the development briefing, but I know that a lot of the standard elements had to be taken out to accommodate the stealth system.
No, I meant the character in the book.
Oh, yeah, he's an old man who's a huckster, and he realizes that he has to abandon his scheming ways, and then he gets to go home.
Right. But I think the key here is that his scheming ways weren't real. He was faking everything. All of his abilities, all of this grandiose magic tricks that he was showing the world seemed complicated for everyone, mind-blowing, inexplainable. But he was like just faking it. And I feel that when you're concentrating, when you're actually trying to make magic, magic doesn't happen. But when you're not trying, there's more of a connection. And I think we just saw it recently with the dragon turtle. I was smacked out of formation and heading to water, and immediately, faster than I've ever seen you moved, you had taken it upon yourself to create a distraction, which allowed us to regroup and take this thing down. If it had not been for that move that you did flawlessly without even thinking, we would not have survived that battle.
I mean, you know, I'm trying my best. I'm getting it to work. It's gonna be okay, but
I don't think you need to try. I think you already have the gifts inside of you that you're searching for. Everything that you're trying to figure out, you've already done it. You just need to be.
Franklin, something echoes in your head. A memory. Not quite a Blaze in the Dark flashback, but the words of like when he was finally honest and abandoned the subterfuge is when he became truly became an effective wizard, so to speak. And something else undertones to that of like, you gotta stop thinking so much and just embrace your blazing hot passion, which kind of vibes the same way.
Yeah, just gotta be. Franklin keeps repeating that. I just gotta be as he's finally getting the fire shut off.
Oh, look, it is so much less humidity in here.
I love it. Something just starts bubbling up from like behind the crepe station.
That being
I like
said,
how apparently all of us get breaks, but Franklin's just maintaining the Iliad while the rest of us have lives.
He's doing extra work. He's doing other people's.
Speaking of work, Franklin, this is something on the down low.
Huh?
What do you know back from your maintenance days about the golden circlet on the Monkey King?
Oh, that thing. Yeah, it uses a kind of non-Newtonian fluid as a Heisenberg compensator, so that they can time the Wukong's hydraulics.
Tamris, you hear him say that, and you remember seeing ancient footage I say ancient because, you know, like 5-10 years out. The golden headband of the Monkey King was one of the most iconic elements of Journey to the West. It granted him, it was a heaven sent magical treasure that granted him the ability to have basically immortal power. He had a cloud, a circlet, and a staff that were his iconic, like, treasures. You know, David had a sling.
Mhm.
Wukong had a staff and a circlet and a Kintu-un cloud. But in combat, that non-Newtonian physics, he would chuck it at things like Xena throwing a chakram. Ballpark, like, as far as the engine was concerned. How it works, Franklin has aptly explained to you. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you believe him because he's never steered you wrong on that.
Yeah. Okay. What reason would he have to take it off outside of combat?
I'm not sure. I can't think of one. I'm trying to think. I mean, it could be something related to time travel. I mean, like most of our engines have some ability to do that built in. We can't start our own jumps, but they can manipulate a wormhole if they're already in it.
I think you're onto something. Okay. All right. This was a good chat.
Okay.
I'll get back to you eventually. Keep up the good work. And if anything else in that brilliant mind comes forward, share it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Don't be afraid to just maybe don't share it with the producers. Just keep it within the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Great. Good job.
Your stunt double is like over in the far corner, just like eating soup. It's like, got your back, bro. The crate machine starts shooting fire again for no reliable reason. Like, who installed flamethrowers on the back of this? This is nonsensical. That's a terrible idea. You don't even cook crepes that way.
You do now.
We do now.
This is the 20 billionth century.
The guys from Rammstein are like, this is how we make a crepe machine.
Amazing.
Go ahead and roll your links.
My links.
Yeah.
All right.
D6 for bonding.
And then I get to add an extra because we're in the...
That's correct. Yep.
Ooh. That was wrong, but 6?
Yeah, I'll give it to you for a 6. So for links, Franklin, you get 4 links from Tamris.
Go team.
So that's 2 for Tamris, 2 for Franklin. Xena, we had talked about you there. You were going to go and speak to...
I will be looking out for Anne. So I just the links that so do I get 2, or my interaction with Captain Tamris is within that link?
So Tamris used their downtime to give you a link with her.
Yep.
And then you get 2 downtime actions as well.
Okay. Yep. So during my downtime, there's 2 things Xena is going to do. Because she remembered, like, about a week ago, shortly after the fight, how down Anne was, because Xena was not very good with communication, but she noticed how down they were. Mm-hmm. And they're going to find Anne in the penthouse talking to Jimmy Sweet.
I like it. You elevator doors open up, and there's a little bit of a walk from where the elevator is over into the main house proper, past like 2 infinity pools that you can dive under and swim between the two. It's very disconcerting. And you open it up, and Jimmy's like sitting there, cross-ankled on his phone, just going through, and it's like, no, you don't understand. These are going to be very important. And Anne's just like in the kitchen pouring some juice as you walk in.
They're great ideas, Jimmy.
They're terrible ideas, Jimmy.
Wow, look who shows up.
Your favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
you do.
I need my teammate.
Yeah, all right.
We'll take it, Graham.
I gotta go fire off a missile anyway.
Who?
And he like claps you on the shoulder and like walks past you.
You can tell that Tamris would have seen it when she walked into the den the first time. But probably there was just too much information and she probably didn't think about it until after the fact. But Xena has a full one row with just underneath it that says tracking Jimmy or tracking the producers. And she knows everything that Jimmy's doing, and for the most part.
Jimmy is your idol manager.
Mm-hmm.
He manages all four of you as idols, saviors of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he excuses himself and goes to do some business. And you are left with Anne in the penthouse.
Do you want to go for bubble tea?
I would love to go for bubble tea. She's like finishing off an additional braid on the side of her hair and pins it up. Do you have a place in mind? I could bring us some extra snacks. I wasn't, oh my gosh. Hold on 1 second. And she runs into a wall of frills and skirts and just nonsense and pops back out and is in a completely different outfit with a little beret and all mint green. I'm ready.
Your outfit's missing something.
What?
You need like a pink belt.
That?
Probably
Excellent suggestion.
pink shoes.
Runs off, comes out. Well, I never. You are full of surprises, Xena.
By that time she came out the second time, Xena's got like a bag with sweatpants and like a sweatshirt, and she's already put it into a paper bag. And on the paper bag it says Franklin, really rough housing, and she's got it underneath her arm. She's not sure if the clothes are going to fit, but she just guesstimates that it'll fit enough. And then she's got like an extra like bag of stuff for Tamris as well. Cool. I know a place.
Let's get going. And she points, her little peace sign points up at a little camera in the corner that's got a blinking red light.
You look at the face expression on Xena's face, switch to the most blandest expression you've ever seen her do. She looks up at it, nods. One for the gram.
And we take our, what has now come to be known as like the CD, like it's the CD cover pose.
Yeah. And then she posts it and she gets triple the likes, hands the phone back to Anne, goes, okay.
All right.
Like a big piece of
James, something's up with your mic.
You went muffled.
Can you hear me now?
You're still weird. Okay. So lead the way.
Sure. Where I'm taking you, keep it really down low. And
No
she
problem.
says this away from the cameras.
Yeah.
Like she's already know where each camera is, and she makes sure that she tells it to you as close as possible the moment you guys head out the door. And then she kind of walks, like she stalks off. She's really tall, so she just kind of lumbers forward.
And makes a quick post. And when she sees the direction we're going, she puts a quick post about being excited to try bubble tea at this new place on the other side of town.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. I was going to say, like a bag of Easter peeps with the pastel greens and pinks. Just meandering away.
Mhm. And Xena is going to take Anne to the 1980s district of the city. So it's all bright and colorful, and both of them don't look out of place whatsoever. Like, it's bright, it's colorful, it's that neon era of the 80s. During that time frame when they were going out down the elevator, Xena has taken off her customary black leather jacket with like full-on punk signs and symbols and puts it on just to give that like, and then she actually does the flip of the leather jacket, so she looks really like 80s. And she
I
goes,
love it.
Before we head down, I need to drop this off at Franklin's. 1 second.
Absolutely.
Drops off a package after seeing Dr. Love. She'll say, "Hey, Dr. Love, give this to Franklin."
Will do.
Thanks.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect. Down to the 80s district, and
Really can't
Boba
stand
place.
him.
He's good. He's good people. He gives me stuff.
He's
For the
full of
anxiety.
burning hot passion.
Don't get Cairo from him though. It's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've just been blessed with a really good back. It just never hurts.
Lucky.
So hurt.
Very, very lucky.
You see him swimming in the infinity pool every now and again. Just because.
I mean, he gives me great pills for anxiety, but that's neither here or there. Okay, here, down this way. And she goes and takes you stop into like the kitschiest little boba shop manned by like the beefiest looking guy in like full on tank 80s tank shirt, so you can really see the pecs, and like tight gym bro shorts, and he's got like a little chef cap. Hey, Denny.
And Denny, it's like Sig Curtis from Full Metal Alchemist. He's just like the meat shop dude. He's like,
We're going to the back. Cool. She brings Anne through. They get boba teas. So whatever you want to order. We'll do that, but we do have to go to the back.
All right.
He taps a little wooden sign that says the special is Rainbow Boba.
2, please.
And you see him going through the motion of making pearls. And there's a little bit of he's got some kind of a concoction where it's adding just a little bit of like raspberry extract, blueberry extract, like matcha, and just like changing the color of the pearls as they coalesce out. It's like boba tea.
And just as you finish the first one, she kind of stops and glances back and says, wait. Matcha?
You got it.
And 1 matcha, please.
And it's primarily green pearls. Yeah. Pushes them over, and he does a little like, and just like pushes them over and like goes back to cleaning something behind the counter. It does not charge Anne.
You see that
Xena knows to put her money on the counter.
Xena pays double for the boba and everything else. And she goes, "Come this way." Actually, it's more than double. It's like $100 bill that's just been pushed on top of the table. And she doesn't say anything by leaving there, making sure Anne doesn't see the money, and takes Anne to the back.
Okay.
Once you go to the back, there's a back metal door. She opens it and she goes, and then this way. And you see a set of stairs that go down into what looks towards like a long tunnel.
This is amazing.
Yeah, it's fine. And she goes in, and there's like a little golf cart that is attached to a set of rails that's been like hijacked to make it look like an subterranean little rail thing. And she goes, "Let's go."
Anne's just like sitting there with her little clutch purse sitting there.
Oh,
Sipping boba.
don't forget to put your extra boba into the cup holder. Vroom.
I love it.
As we're sitting there, she's going to take you to her den, but we chat along the way.
Okay.
So as the cart kind of like rallies on, you hear faint conversation echoing through the chamber from the cafe upstairs. And it's going at the speed of golf cart.
Mm-hmm.
So are there tunnels everywhere under the city?
You'd be surprised. This one will take us to the underground basement. I'll be fine. But yeah, there's tunnels everywhere underground the city, not monitored.
Oh, that's a relief. The thing was starting to bother me. Does the wool itch you too?
I took it off a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Oh, you might want to put your earphones
Mm.
and your phone, put it into that little section, and there's a button that comes out. Golf cart comes out with like a little pop, and then there looks to be like a sanitizing thing. Nanobots.
She puts everything down on there and says, absolutely.
Wipes it all clean. Cool. Should be done by the time we get there. By the way, question for you. Do you know anything about Wukong?
I mean, everyone hears stories, but I mean, after all, we're all based on them.
True. Wukong, the Monkey King, golden circle around their head. Do you know anything about like piloting it?
No, I never did get a chance to sit in that one. Always wanted to, but the Jimmy was real set that it was going to be one or the other. And that was all that we went with. So, I could put out some feelers though. I have plenty of connections that are more than happy to share.
Yeah.
Maybe whenever we get where we're going, but you know, you have to be careful sometimes digging around with this kind of information. I found getting information, any kind of information around Wizard has been incredibly difficult to come by.
Yeah, Wizard's kind of an anomaly. Wukong, though, shouldn't be too difficult to figure out.
No,
there's got to be something.
Definitely
right?
one of the more classic models. There should at least be some schematics from similar areas. I think there was a recent group of refugees that came in through one of the time losses from a similar area. We might be able to see if there's some new information in the chats.
You hear like click clacking, and you see a little robot on the dashboard taking notes on like a jimmied up BlackBerry.
I love it.
Yep. Here we are.
Anne.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you to hearing what you're hearing. You had expressed that Anne lives for what you're doing here.
Yep.
Like you're invested.
Yep.
As a character. And I feel like it would be in character that you've read The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
You've read David and Goliath. You've read Beowulf. You've read Journey to the West.
Yep. But do us all a favor and help the player characters who haven't
yeah.
with some information.
They're asking about the headband on Wukong.
Yeah.
Wukong's headband, you remember because you're like, it's an accessory. It goes here. You had floated the idea of exchanging accessories amongst the mechs in a variety of ways to accessorize. This was really important. The band itself is a heaven-sent magical treasure that was designed to rein in his unruly, rebellious nature. And it's based on the Buddhist concept of like monkey of the mind. A disquieted mind bars humanity from enlightenment. So it allowed him to, it's a focusing band for all intents and purposes. But it was a gift from the gods. Wukong was immortal, but it was a tool of the gods.
So he removed his gift.
Seemed to be contemplating it.
Thought about it, and then he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Regurgitates information that has just been siphoned from her memory banks.
Yeah, that seems really important. If he's removed it, then someone has piloted it in a way to make him rebel, or maybe he's looking for his pilot.
Looking for his pilot, or refusing to be focused on the goals of the pilot.
Yeah, I wish I knew which direction he went off to. If we knew which direction he went off to, we could get a heading to where we need to go next. Like, where did he leave? But he was gone in like a blink of an eye. I didn't even see it in the 15-second reel. Come on in. Deadbolts.
It's a really nice place you have here. You know, you could go do a lot with this place. I know a wallpaper guy.
No. Locks the door and closes it. No.
No.
No. Watch your step. You don't want to auto turrets.
And like with the pristine speed of not stepping on the wrong arrow in DDR, and it's like you catch yourself, engage the core.
Yeah, it's fine now.
I feel like we're missing something.
Here, I'll show you the video, and don't mind the Jimmy feed. By the way, he's a weirdo.
Jimmy absolutely live tweets from the toilet. It's a thing that he does.
Right now, he's complaining about us. By the way, subtitles because she can't stand his voice.
Well, that's good. And she gets out a little notebook and just marks 1 point under Anne's name. It's Anne and Jimmy.
I feel like you guys have probably had a conversation of, look at you, you're all worked up and I've barely said a thing. You're getting weak. It's pathetic.
We're just starting out. Jimmy, I haven't even had my coffee yet. But no, I think Zena, I feel like we're missing something important. What would happen if he rejected a gift like that?
Then he probably thinks that what we're doing here is wrong. That's the only thing I can think of. I've tried hacking into a lot of different places. It's a hobby. Let's just say I can't find anything short of hacking into the actual database at the base, and that's too risky.
Zena, you know that although Beowulf shared this video feed because of the connection that you have, you don't have any kind of interface or interaction with any of the other engines themselves. You've been able to have remote cameras and things like that, but they're a separate technology that doesn't interface with the engine itself, because they're living beings. And as much as the science that goes into Beowulf, you feel like you have a bit of a grasp on, you've got like a 40% understanding of how it works, and it's mostly the chair that you lay down in that you understand. How they are made is elusive and beyond you. You're not certain if they're made or born or found or what. But it goes beyond tech.
I know somebody in headquarters. She shows up to my my events. She kind of rolls her eyes every once in a while. Maybe if I went and talked to her, maybe she'd be able to give us some information. They have to be holding some information. They wouldn't let one of them disappear. I mean, goodness, I couldn't even get 5 minutes. You realize this is the first time I haven't had a bodyguard within visions of me in over, I don't even know how long.
Yeah, I figured. By the way, your guards are currently, well, don't worry about it. They're fine. They're just sleeping. You see you see a random video feed of Cal and Al, Jimmy, and the other Bob. That like Xena's got like 10 bodyguards, so they change every so often, but 4 of them are really loyal to Xena, and so they've got your bodyguards in a wrestling match.
I like it.
And
You got that the Burley fans from your fan base. They are fiercely loyal, and they're like, she's doing what she can. She's just like, you being strong for everybody's a hard task. We'll do anything that Xena asks of us. And that includes like getting into wrestling matches. They're always down to scrap. That's the thing. I'm going to get you to, based on what you guys have here, roll me your link. This is Xena rolling and adding to Anne. That's a 2 for your downtime. This is going to be 2 links given to Anne in this regard. You've learned a lot about your friends and their rebel network ways. I like it.
Who are you?
Right? So just for housekeeping, so we've had 2 from Tamris. Franklin, we've got 2 for you for downtime. Xena, this was the first for you, I believe.
Yep, it was a super long role play. Unless we count the time with Captain Tamris, I have one more.
Yeah, that's Tamris's there. We'll do one more for you.
Okay. Xena is going to, after she introduces Anne to the den and giving Anne pretty much a whole day off, including up into the morning, away from her security guards, but only within like the den area. And like there's boba, there's coffee, there's full-on movies from like the 21st century as well as the 22nd century. She bypasses the 23rd and 24th and 25th because they all suck.
Well, those ones beam right into your brain. It's challenging.
Yeah. But the other ones are fine. Giving Anne pretty much full control of the den for a short time under supervision.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
She will then go next day looking for Dr. Love and Franklin.
Okay. It stands to reason that based on the chat that Franklin had with Tamris, that you've started to take into consideration some things about, you know, you're trying to vie into a role with the wizard, and you read heavy into the technical specs for what it can do and what it's been repurposed to do, and all of the things that were taken out to make room for the other things. And here's the thing. Microsoft Excel is a great tool, and it can do a lot if you dick around with it. And you were talking about spreadsheets earlier. And the wizard is the Excel spreadsheet that's simultaneously being used as a database and a mail tool right now. And it's also running Doom.
Yep.
It's a thing. And it can do all of those things. It can. But nobody ever stopped when they were thinking if it could, whether they should. And you're wrestling with the idea of maybe everybody was onto something. You know, from interfacing with the wizard, that its virtue is to be brave. And you know that the impulse it has is to be lost. And it's hard to be brave when you're wearing a mask, so to speak. Truly brave. It's easy enough to, you know, all heroes wear masks kind of thing, but the bravest people are the ones that do it without the mask. And you've been kind of wrestling with it a little bit. And Dr. Love is, I feel like you're maybe sounding board, using him as a sounding board of some kind. He is literally cleaning the hallway outside of one of your guys' apartments, because he is the janitor to the stars. It's what he does. Keeps the penthouse clean, keeps this whole office area clean, happens to have a room full of pharmaceuticals, just in case. Xena, you find Franklin contemplative? What do you think?
Yeah, Franklin is just bouncing a ball off of the wall and talking to Dr. Love while he's squeegeeing and mopping.
And he's like, watch the floor. You don't want to slip. It's important.
I mean,
You could hurt yourself.
And that's why there's a sign.
Right?
That's what I'm looking for. I need to find a sign
that says don't slip.
Oh, hey, Xena.
And instead of slipping, embrace burning hot, passionate love.
Oh, you're getting that little
hey,
bit.
Hey, Dr. Love. Hey, Franklin.
You want to know something about burning hot passion? Look at this one.
But I've got hot Takis.
Right here. Hot Takis. They are passion in a bag.
There you go. I'm going to steal Franklin. Thank you for the good work, sir. Oh,
of course. You got to be passionate.
I'm also halfway down my calming pills.
Well, you know, if you were just passionate about the serenity in your soul and the guided meditation that I keep trying to run you through, we could eventually get you to a point of stability and zen. But for now, he tosses you an orange bottle.
Thanks. Tucks it in.
Not a real doctor. Doesn't understand how mental health works.
Xena just nods their way and goes, not worrying about it. She's probably going to experiment on it later.
He's a janitor. And he's like, talkies.
Takes Franklin by the arm and goes, he's good people. I pay him $1,000 sometimes.
That's a
Don't
lot.
worry. Yeah. I pay for privacy. Do you want to head over to my apartment?
What for? Did we have a thing? I didn't see anything.
Yeah. No, we're just gonna hang out.
Now, are you referring to the den, or are you referring to your apartment in this building?
To the apartment in this building, just because that would be weird to bring Franklin to the den when we didn't build that rapport yet.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm not really busy.
Cool. So, burning in hot passion.
Yeah.
What are you learning from that?
I mean, I think it's more of like a metaphorical thing. I'm not sure what he's really getting at yet, but I think it's helping.
You do also have pharmacology or pharmaceuticals in like your backpack.
Nice. I feel that. Come on in.
Okay.
Cal and Al are there. Hey guys.
Man. They wait specifically outside the apartment.
You guys want a water or any? Oh, okay. Door's closed. Great.
Yep. The door just simply opens like it usually does for all of the apartments. But Xena kind of looks at the Cal and Al, slips them another $100, and then she closes the door. You might want to go this way. And she goes towards the bathroom. It's not a proper bathroom, by the way. It's the one place they don't have cameras in.
They absolutely do not have cameras in the bathroom. 100%.
The way she's jimmied it, she's, instead of the regular bath that you would have in your bathroom, she's got the stand-up shower, which is great. She has that. It's still there. She's got a section just for the things. But something that Xena has done is set up like a ladder leading up to the top, to the ceiling of her apartment, because she's not quite at the penthouse suite level, but she's able to get rooftop access.
This is not. Why do you? Okay.
Just climb up. It's fine. You're safe.
Yeah. Franklin's gonna head up. He doesn't feel like he has too much of a choice.
You're good. Come on up here. And she helps you up, and then she takes you up all the way through to the rooftop. And at the rooftop, she's jimmied up like a tin, like she's made it so it looks like it's part of the building as best as she can, but it's like a tin, like a metal can that's on top of the roof. But it's like the underside of, you don't know how she's done it. She's just done it. Where it's like a long 20-foot by 10-foot sea can that is up there with the door facing down. And she brings you up. Beautiful, gorgeous view. And on that view, inside the sea can, once you go all the way up, a long row of computers and like a small station. It's fine. Franklin, this is my temporary base.
You're confident climbing through the drywall and through a bunch of wire. None of this is to code. The mechanic in you is like, oh no. Like, again, they didn't think about whether they should do it, just that they could do it. Yeah.
So this is a lot of stuff, and it's why are you showing me this?
Well, everybody's seen it. You might as well see it. Look at this. And she pulls up the 15-second mid-minute video in one of like the quick cams, and she shows it to you.
What the hell is that?
Wukong through Beowulf's eyes. You can actually look through your buddy's eyes, and they can give you a video feed. And Bay and I, we talked, and he gave me this video feed, just 15 seconds. Wukong is there. I even slowed it down, but you see the circlet on top of their head?
Mm-hmm.
So that little circle, instead of keeping it on top of their head, they took it off and put it towards their chest and then disappeared.
Okay, so the way that Wukong's crown works, it uses a non-Newtonian fluid as a Heisenberg compensator. That's what allows us to measure both when and how fast an electron is going and where it is at the same time. It's an essential component of time travel. So if that were removed, it could be reconfigured to, I mean, with Wukong's pneumatics, I'm not sure what it could be doing. But this video, I'm not sure what it's doing, but I think it could be, I mean, it could be doing anything. It could be generating anti-time. It could be making a full jump. I'm not sure what it's up to.
Do you see the direction that it's facing? Do you, like, I'm trying to look at it and it's looking out at something, but I don't know which direction it is, because where Beowulf was, I couldn't get a good triangulation of north, south, east, and west.
I don't think it's...
Franklin,
Mm-hmm.
give me a analyze roll.
All right. Let's see.
Can I also assist?
Yeah, I would say so.
So I will take another stress for this.
Add a die.
Yep.
It's a 5.
5. I'd say that you're this wasn't necessarily from a risky position. You're in a, it's a weird scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you're a little like on edge, but with a 5, you can add an XP to stars. He's looking out towards the direction of the ocean. Like you've been in you've spent a lot of time in the park. And for where they're sitting, it's like, oh, it's that tree there. And then it's looking over. Okay, yeah, it's definitely in the direction of the ocean.
Got it. It's looking at the direction of the ocean. I mean, it might be looking in that direction, but that may not be what it's seeing, depending on when the light that it's looking at is from. It could be perceiving events that haven't occurred yet.
I went towards the ocean, probably when we had the battle. I'm going to text Tamris. 1 second. She sends out a little text into the group chat to Tamris and also to Anne, but it's a group chat that she's filtered away so that it's just the 4 of them, no producers. So like, and it's on like a private URL IP, and then you finally get a text message of yourself on your thing. It's a private group chat, and you on your cell phone, and you see that she's finagled it in that way, and she sends it out to the ocean to both Anne and Tamris as well. Mm-hmm. Cool.
You have that information at your disposal now for everybody else.
Cool. Good to know. Oh, by the way, you can use this space. I know it's not up to code and it's probably violating a whole bunch of illegal things, but I'm pretty sure that you're pretty good about keeping certain secrets to yourself.
Okay.
Cool. Not to scare you or anything, but did you get the tracksuit?
There was a track suit.
There was a bag that she had left with Dr. Love that he conveniently placed like on your coffee table.
Oh, yeah.
Has your name on it.
Got it. Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Cool. There was also a set of like overalls there too.
Overalls or coveralls?
Coveralls.
Coveralls.
Just in case, maybe you could wear it inside the wizard and feel more comfortable. I don't know what mechanics wear.
Going out on a limb.
Like maybe just feel comfortable wearing clothes that you are comfortable in. I don't know. It's a thing. I don't know if you really need to go as far as getting a tool belt or anything, but yeah, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Cool. I'm glad that we had this chat. Do you want an espresso? I've got a machine.
Franklin doesn't know what an espresso is. Is like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Don't need that. Thanks.
With a conveyed message of be your true self, live your best life, bae. Inside the wizard. Go ahead and roll me your links, Cena. This would be a D6. With a 4, you're looking at did you go? 3 marks given to Franklin. And last but not least, we have Anne. Given everything that you've experienced, where do we find Anne? You have 2 downtime activities.
I did my downtime activity.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Got him. I think we got everybody.
that's right. Yep.
No, it took us. Yeah, we did it.
It was a little cyclical. It's all good. We are a fair ways past our break, so I'm gonna throw it over to a break screen for a little bit so we can do the things that humans need to do, and we'll shoot for 10 minutes or so.
Yep.
Perfect. All right, we'll be back in just a little bit, folks. See you soon. one. And we're back. Cha-chink. With that, our obligation phase and downtime phases are complete. There's been some sleuthing going on. And I've got DJ Cumberbund playing in my ear for some reason. Have a sec. There we go. With that, you have a mystery on your hands. And Captain, jumping right into the action, I want you to roll me a fortune roll, please. You can just click fortune roll on your sheet.
All right. Fortune.
Oh, I guess I had 0 dice. How many dice are we supposed to roll?
3.
3. Got it. Okay. Ignore that then.
All right. Oh, Franklin did it. It's all good.
I know. I was like, wait a second. You don't need me. Those look great. I trust you.
Yeah.
Hey, James, could you ditch the countdown in video, please?
Yeah, I probably can. Give me half a sec. Little distracting.
Yes.
There we go. All right. With a fortune roll of a 3, 4, and 5, you're coming into this prepared.
Yay.
You're not entirely sure what you're going up against, but as you find yourself into the thick of it, you feel confident. This is specifically because the previous interaction that you had, combat scene, was with something that dwarfed you immensely. You know, that Genbu of the North, the guardian turtle deity of the North Winds, was significantly larger than the flaming golden energied Wukong that is now currently punching the wizard in the face over and over and over again as you've scrambled your mechs. The crown that once adorned its head, keeping its wild primal energies intact, is nowhere to be seen. Something that you recall being a gift from the gods specifically that are trying to crush the human race at this point for your impudence. We jump right in, and we'll zoom back a little bit because I need me some Magical Girl transformation sequences quick. And we're going to start with a quick one from Xena.
Full on athletic gear. She is running. She gets into Beowulf, full on rock and roll, heavy bass, loud guitars, and she is rushing into Beowulf as per usual.
I love it. You platform up and you assume the position and it rockets down. Something feels a little weird with Beowulf as you're doing this. You feel like you have a boost of energy, like you could run for days, like you can stretch and reach, in the same sort of vein as the things that we talked about in Discord earlier today. You've been theorizing whether or not it was possible for a while, and based on the interactions that you've had and the inspiration that you've had, it's totally something that is in your wheelhouse should you choose to use it. And Beowulf takes off as the Iliad has launched very, very close to shore. The Iliad's maybe a mile or two just offshore. Beowulf jumps down into the water. It sinks down to about knees. You're not even flying at this point. You're in your element. Beowulf is where they're most effective in their combat range. Franklin, how does this go as you're setting off in the wizard?
So Franklin immediately slams 2 ibuprofen down with a root beer as they take him through the hangar. He's got his coveralls on. When he
Yep.
gets into there, he takes a running start and leaps into the portal that is the wizard's cockpit. And as he jumps into it,
Mhm.
he he's like, just be, just be, just be, as he activates the wizard's cloaking device. So the big reveal is its transcendent ability, and he disappears and immediately reappears at the time of his choosing.
I
I
love it.
assume he is going to attempt to ambush our adversary.
I like it. That sounds like the appropriate response. Um, what does the audience see from
Uh,
Franklin in this regard?
Oh, the audience sees a guy doing a very big, almost Broadway style dance number as he's dancing into it, and there's
Okay.
like a crew of people singing, and there's confetti as things as he tap
Okay.
dances up into it.
Maintaining the curtain. I like it. Anne, what about in your regard?
Um, Anne is in her normal backlit area stance as she gets ready to go, and she snaps her fingers, and Singing in the Rain comes on, and she dances around to the song that she and Franklin danced to earlier in the day, and transforms with the ribbons and goes to back up her friend.
I like it. Um, do you follow the steps that show up on the floor, or do you follow the steps from memory?
Um, I'm gonna say she's about halfway there.
All right.
She gets the first couple, and then the last few she has to look at the stuff, but she's like, right, right, right.
I like it. Tamras, it begins.
Tamris, feeling a little bit more connected and empowered by her new friends, is going to forego the traditional David entry into Goliath.
Mhm.
And she will go with her codename Matilda. And it
I
is
like it.
just her. Her hair's finally down, but it's pinned with a little red bow. And there's books kind of fluttering all around her, different books. So there's The Wizard of Oz, there is Beowulf, there is Romeo Juliet. So it's all of her friends' books,
Hmm.
as well as one that she's holding in her hand, and it is the one with Wukong in it.
Hmm.
And the pages are flipping by fast, and almost like that meme where there's like the mathematical codes. It
Mhm.
can see that she's putting pieces together, and then all the books slam at once, and she goes straight up into the hands in, legs in pose into Goliath.
I feel like the giant rock in this regard is stylized as a giant like hammer throw, right?
It's definitely, yep,
Very much
now a
the
hammer
trench
throw.
pull, like, you know.
Yep.
I love it. As you land, um, and some time passes. We jump right into the action. Wukong is um glowing with this golden fire that erupts all around him. Just hair wild and billowing. That circlet is nowhere to be seen. And it reaches into its ear and it pulls out something the size of a toothpick and it extends out into a long staff. Um, Pointing it to the sky, you see a cloud that was once golden streak down as this like buffeted blue and red sort of rainbowish hue that he rides along. It's more for mobility, flight, um, as he dives into a wild fervor, a furious battle. Um, where do we start? Franklin, the wizard is being pummeled at this point and
Yeah.
pushed down into the water. You're in a mech. You're not going to drown. It's not a thing that's going to happen. But the primal nature of what it's doing, there's no mechanical tactics here that you're picking up on at all. It is a wild beast raging. What do you or the rest of your party do?
Yeah, somebody else help. Franklin has no idea what to do.
It's like, oh God, why?
I feel like Anne needs to start singing and is
Okay.
going to aim to help free Franklin. So
Okay.
Romeo's going to come up and try to get Wizard out and hope that someone else can try and disrupt the arms if she comes behind Wizard and tries to wrap and pull back.
Yeah,
So
Tamris would also be going with her. Just the how dare you?
you
So you pull him out, I'm gonna pummel him.
with that ribbon just like wrapping around a tail, for instance, that's just flicking wildly. Franklin, you had mentioned using stealth mode as you came in.
Yes.
In this instance, because of what you had said before, we're going to give a help action to Anne on this.
Yep. That
Because at just the right moment, the wizard just goes translucent. It's a very distracting moment. Tamris, as you're helping Anne take care of this, how are you assisting them? Are you taking a stress to use that teamwork?
This one I would specifically be. I think. Can I use one of the links that Anne has given me?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'll probably use one of those.
All right. So using a link in this regard, you can grant 1 dice to Anne.
Sure.
So 1 from Franklin, 1 from Tamris, and roll 3d6.
Can I add 1 from Romeo?
Yes, absolutely.
4d6.
4d6. How are you doing this?
So the goal here is fluid motion coming
Yes.
in, and as they're being jarred around, coming in and with kind of like a dancer's ease coming in and just kind of stealing someone's partner, basically, out of the dance.
You know, Wukong is focused on a martial aspect, and what is martial arts if not a dance of partners? So, in true dancey fashion, let's see what you got. So what were you rolling in this regard?
Oh, right.
I'll get
I
you
feel
to
like
click the actual.
I think it's going to
attribute.
be flow for this one.
That makes sense. So click flow. You're not in a controlled scenario here.
Risky or desperate?
Risky, not desperate. You, like I said, you guys were coming into this feeling reasonably competent because you have 1 foe that is roughly your size.
Right.
And 4 submit. There we go.
All right. While transcending, because again, anytime that we launch into battle here, you do it. You do it successfully. You wrap that ribbon around the tail, and as you pull, he goes to turn to retaliate, and with the grace that only Romeo has of the different engines that you have, epics, you take him by the hand and take him by the shoulder and dip him into the water, and totally like he looks like his hair is on fire, just like do down in. It gives the wizard a chance to mute himself out, and all of a sudden, where the wizard was, water just starts pouring in. Franklin, as you find yourself discorporated and you appear again some 30-60 feet away from where you were, upright and floating out of the water. From there, Xena.
Knowing a little bit more about Wukong's like legend now and watching and grab it by the tail and seeing Wizard pretty much in the water. Instead of swimming all fours they're actually going to stretch. They're actually going to stretch with Beowulf and transform into this bipedal mechazoid now that she's been able to kind of go through things. And she takes a running leap straight towards Wukong and make sure that she does it in a way that helps boost Wizard up, if that helps. Like I'm imagining, is Wizard still in the water?
No, Wizard has separated and teleported away a little ways,
Then
and
he's
is in
safe.
a good position.
Okay, then what they're going to do is then they're just going to leap towards Wukong and face it straight on. Now that
Right.
it like in bipedal form.
Now, does Beowulf make a that trademark like
Yep.
as they
1000%.
transform like a transformer?
They transform, and it's strange because instead of the wolf that everyone is used to, they see almost like a different god in its place.
I like it. As you like lay your hands into it, is your purpose here? Is it to hold it to set someone up? Is it
Yes.
to disarm? Is it to damage? Is it what's the intent?
I think her intention is to hold it so she can see what's going on the inside.
All right. I'm going to say in this instance, then you're going to be trying to analyze. So go ahead and roll stars. Is there anything anyone wants to do to assist?
I'm not going to assist, but I am going to spend a link with Xena as Beowulf grapples this thing to get some more space. I say thank you, and fly away.
If you're using up a link, you're going to get 2 dice for that.
Okay.
And you clear 1 stress.
Ooh, nice. I rolled analyze. Hold on.
And you also have 1 less stress because you got an assist from one of your companions and your actions succeeded.
Anne's been on like cloud 9 forever. She has no stress. Can I use one of my links with Franklin to reduce 2 stress?
You
I'm
can.
linked to. Okay, Franklin, you lose 2 stress.
Thanks.
No worries.
All right. So, Xena, that's a resistance roll.
Okay.
Not an analyze roll.
Damn it. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
Yep.
It's fine. It's
All
fine.
good.
It's fine. It's fine. It's not transcendent. 1 bonus. Come on.
You have 2 extra dice to add to that.
Oh, right. Okay. It went from straight high to like, oh no.
It's all good. So, when you're working in the Roll20 character sheets for Girl by Moonlight, you've got your 9 attributes that you select. You can add or subtract dice as you go. In this case, so you clicked analyze, but there should be bonus dice on that one.
So the first one I did add the bonus dice. And that still got me a 1. And then the second one I just rolled as is because
Gotcha. Okay.
that's 2.
So
with 1, 4, 3.
Yeah, with a 4, you're trying to hold, and this thing is wild. The staff comes up and cracks underneath the jaw of Beowulf. You're in a bipedal form that is new and exciting, and it takes you upside the jaw, and starts pushing you down into the water with it as it spins around. And I feel is Goliath close? You are muted.
Goliath is absolutely close, and I'm wondering if I can protect a teammate here.
You probably could, yes. This is using your guardian ability.
It says it's teamwork. It says face danger on behalf of a teammate, step in to suffer a consequence in their place. I may roll a resist, but my special ability is watchful. When I protect an ally, I get an additional D6.
Absolutely.
For my resistance roll.
So this, as this enraged Wukong smashes their staff into Beowulf's form, and it it sends them reeling, and they raise it up to go in for a mighty kill strike. Goliath is suddenly there. And what does it look like? How are you resisting?
Well, it's definitely, I think, because she does a promise of self-sacrifice.
Yep.
That she would take the hit almost from behind, like just protect, just like jump in.
I love it. Go ahead and roll resist.
Right. How do I do that? Where's the
you're rolling in this case you get an extra D to your watchful roll.
Mhm.
Yeah, you should be able to.
So like a button that I press for this, or do I just roll
Actually,
2d6s?
Let me double check. You should have a resist roll in here, because I've seen you guys roll it before. Xena rolled it recently.
Oh, resist is
it's just
when you press
stars,
sun, moon, or stars.
Yeah.
When you just
So,
press the name of it.
In your case, you're being watchful. You're trying to defy? You're trying to. Yeah, I think sun. Go ahead, roll me sun for this.
Sure. Bonus die. Here we go.
This is a physically taxing sort of thing.
Mhm.
You successfully manage to you resist. You take on stress equal to whatever your 6 minus whatever you rolled. You rolled a 6. There's no stress. You take it, that hammer toss. You catch the staff on the chain in the back, and it sets you up to start whipping it around over your head.
Oh.
Wizard, you've been taking all of this in. What do you got?
I think Franklin is going to I think he's going to stay back, and he's going to try to he's going to try to link the wizard with Wukong systems.
Okay.
I want to try to see if I can, because what Xena said about Beowulf, if their eyes, if you can see through Beowulf's eyes, maybe I can try to see through Wukong's eyes. So I think I'm going to try to use the wizard's abilities to put myself in a alternate timeline where I pilot Wukong.
Oh, I was gonna say, because from a technological perspective, there's no like hacking another engine, so to speak.
Yeah.
But that, I like that. That feels like
Just be.
I was thinking about forgive. Like I just be, but you didn't say who I had to be.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm technically being myself.
Could I please expand can I expand like one of my links to Franklin, or two of my links?
You
Is there
can.
inspiration in this game?
Yeah. I'm just gonna give 2 links.
I feel like this is more an empathize than it is a forgive.
Okay.
Although, no, let's see, because you're the way you expressed that, you're not holding a grudge here. You're just you're trying to understand, you're trying to empathize, but I'd take forgive in this regard. Expending a link because of the sync ratio ability, you're going to get 2 dice into this instead of 1 from Xena.
Nice. And so it's risky and standard
and Xena, you have a special ability because everybody's your rival. Do you get an extra dice on top of that?
Because everybody is my rival, based on relentless, I don't know what that ability is. It just says I'm relentless. Each other protagonist counts as your rival.
Oh yeah, you have
basically
you can expend your special armor to resist any consequence of any of your teammates. That's all.
Yeah.
I was thinking reckless.
I should have done that, but I didn't. I chose jaded
It's all
because
good.
that's one of the choices.
It is all good.
And if it succeeds, I clear stress.
Yep.
Hey.
That is a success. You clear 1 stress.
Yeah. As I move to the alternate pilot where I'm the alternate timeline where I'm the pilot of Wukong, I say, Son Wukong, stay your hand, please.
So
What's wrong?
to everybody else and to the streamers watching at home, you see the wizard sit upright, floating in the air, and its arms start bending backwards in weird, like, geometric shapes. And it reconfigures itself into a more lithe version. It's still the same green kind of polygon creature, but it's almost like it's got now a pointed triangle for a head that goes up with like little triangles on top. Um, it's a reasonable facsimile of Wukong, with little diamond legs that are crossed underneath it, and you feel through the HUD in the wizard. Everything goes really, really quiet, more so than you've ever had in the wizard before, and it's just the sound of like trickling water and peace, like waterfalls, birds chirping, and you've never experienced that in the wizard before. And you see a band around all of your periphery, and right at the very edge of where the band is that keeps all of that tranquility there, it looks hot, and there's a faint vibration to it. And with the intention that you've expressed there, um, forcing the wizard to like mimic that movement of removing it, everything is like jacked up. Everything is vibrating. Everything's on fire. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. There are things to eat and things to fight. Reason is lost entirely. Everything goes into this like exhilarating headspace. Even to like your own reflection, it seems to reflect in your physicality. Franklin feels amped, sweaty, um, uh, like pushing through the suit that you're wearing. Your hair is just like getting in your face. Think the best punk show you've been to in a while. Everything is just zen and in the zone. It feels good. And you get the feeling that everything was restrained for so long that the natural impulses that Wukong had before, he hasn't had a pilot. He is a powerful engine with a powerful story that hasn't been expressed. He is ancient and has so much history and hasn't had anybody to help enable that. And he was being held back by this gift from the gods. And you remember, it's not a memory, it's a possibility of being presented with an option from a deep voice while you were sitting in Wukong one day. And it says, you don't have to keep our gift. You can throw it away whenever you need. And it just like zips back, and you see it like toss a ring into the grotto that's in the epic park, and you see its body just like instant transmission away. That's what you pull. Now you're being aided here. You've eliminated the stress that's around this, and you see this like furious creature going back and forth with your companions, swinging a staff around, and is doing remarkably well in the chaos. You see it reach over and it grabs Romeo by the cape, and Romeo's like trying to do some sort of exotic like spin pirouette move, and Wukong grabs it by the cape, lifts it up,
Can
and
I do
slams.
Can I expend my special armor to resist any consequence of that action, or to act before they? Oh, wait, that's a rival action.
Yeah. So you can do that to resist on Anne's part with Jaded. So this is a consequence of your rival's actions, or to act before your rival does.
Can I expend a link? I'm willing to expend 2 links with Romeo to have the cape detach.
I like that. So as you go, it like, does it tear, or does it like you pop it?
It pops.
I like it. And you pirouette around. That's not even a roll. And
Yeah.
you just you land gracefully. That's a very much a Romeo thing, worth 2 links.
Yeah. Hate it.
Tamris. Holding this cape, it like whips itself around its arm like a matador, and grabs its staff, and it whirls it around, and it waits for you. There's all of the engines have this like, it's like a Gundam face, right? Like there's no mouth, there's no like eyes darting around frantically, but you could swear you see it grinning at you.
She hasn't taken any harm specifically, it's just emotional damage.
Yeah.
I would love to use my transcendent how dare you ability, but because no harm was done,
You resisted successfully. Nothing's happened. Yeah.
nothing's happened. I'm just pissy about it. All right.
I'm sorry, Captain. We're too good.
You came into this fight confident.
I did. Okay. Do
And
I notice what's going on with Wizard? This change?
absolutely 100%. The wizard has taken on a you've seen the wizard like go weird shapes before, and weird reflections,
Yeah.
and even go disappear. Like transmogrifying its body type. That's a new one. That's something a little different.
And I like how it looks. So I would like to. Can I set up a teammate?
Yes, absolutely. Who are you thinking?
I'm thinking Wizard.
All right.
Just because something's going on. That little brain is working.
Mhm.
There's a trust. There's a gel. I feel that there's a gel. So with my action, if I achieve it, any team members who follow up get 1 extra effect or improved position.
Yes. So what are you trying to do to Wukong in order to set up the wizard?
I feel like it's more of like a defy. Like he's, doing the come at me,
Yeah.
bro, and I'm going to do the you come at me type.
With a slam, go ahead and roll defy for me. Is anybody aiding in this?
I'll aid.
Me too.
No, you go.
Are you sure? You okay?
Yep.
Are you sure? Okay.
I don't have any links with her, so anything I do is
Oh,
not as strong as
no.
yours.
I
No,
have the
no, it's
links
okay.
between
We
us.
can't. No, we can't. We can't all always be
I'll
linked.
be
It's all good.
I will expend 2 of my links with Tamris for their shot.
2 of your links?
Yeah,
Wow.
because I've got 4.
Yeah.
Right? Total 4. So I'll expend 2 of those.
All right.
Damn.
So you're it takes you 1 link to give 2 dice because of the sync ratio ability. So you only have to expend the 1, but she gets 2 dice instead of 1.
Right.
And if this action succeeds, you're going to clear stress as well.
Right. Position. Are we risky?
No, you
we
are not.
Controlled?
You are controlled. At this point,
Yeah.
you are confident. You've taken in the battle. You know what's happening. You've checked in with your teammates. You're in sync. You have a couple of markers left on your transcendence counter, though, because every time you take an action, it burns through it.
I do?
You do.
Yeah.
What?
You only get to do 4 things when transcended.
Or if you're the wizard, you only get to do 3 things.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Depends on your archetype.
here's the roll. I'm buying him time by like defying him.
All right. All right. So you do it, but you're going to suffer a complication in this regard.
Okay.
The chain attached to that hammer throw straightens up straight, and you slam it down in front of you like, no, not going to be a thing. And it's provoking him. He's enraged and has no sense of composure whatsoever. And with a howl of a wild beast starts charging in on you, and sticking its staff in the water drives both feet into your chest. That's the consequence.
Okay.
You can try and resist this,
Sure.
or you're going to take an injury.
Okay.
That's the consequence of your roll not coming all the way through.
Sure. I will definitely try to resist.
Okay. You can also expend your armor with your transcendent ability.
Oh.
But you only get to expend your armor once.
You know what? Sure.
All right. You burn your armor, and you see a chunk of this like tabard that Goliath is wearing blows off into the water at the cause of the strike. This was successful, but there was a consequence. So technically, Franklin, you have a +1 or an improved position to do what you're doing. You were already controlled in this regard. What do you do?
I think the wizard now. So it sounds like the crown is the key.
Mm-hmm.
If the crown is the key, I think he's going to try to use the wizard again, and he wants to conceal the cause from the effect of his action, and remove basically stealing the crown by hiding. But the thing that he's hiding is the cause of the effect.
So is your intention to use the wizard's transformative abilities to replicate some kind of a crown for Wukong?
Exactly. I think that's what I think he's going to do. He's going to try to steal the effect from the cause. So he's going to try to take whatever's happening to the crown and put it on the wizard's fake crown instead.
Okay. So this Wukong is not wearing their crown?
So it's not wearing their crown? Okay.
It took it off and therefore went mad.
Yeah. Let's do it the
wild.
other way around then. So that the effect. So he's going to conceal Wukong from whatever's happening.
So you see this, I think in this case, this is probably going to be forgive.
Okay.
There's an empathy to it, but it's more of a like, I understand you now. I get it. This doesn't seem like your fault. Absolutely. So go ahead, roll forgive.
Can I assist him?
You can.
With my voice.
Okay.
Go, Franklin! You can do it.
You clear 1 stress because Anne is doing that.
Boy, I'm gonna spend a stress to push myself too.
Okay, so it comes out in the wash.
Yep. So that's a die from. So it's controlled still.
It's controlled.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 die from me because I'm assisting you. Yep. It's another die because I used perfect pitch.
Ooh.
Yep.
I think I can only roll 4 dice, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then I guess I won't push myself then.
Well, then from Tamris, it was either a die or a improved. So not from what is there something above controlled? Like fortune?
It's either a +1 effect or an improved position for it.
I'll take the effect I'll take the improved position if you want.
Yeah.
So is that what's my effect then?
I think in this regard, it's going to be better than a standard effect in this case.
And then it is
1 up from a standard effect.
And bonus dice 3.
Yep.
Let's see if this fake crown made out of the wizard.
There you go. From a controlled position,
Is that a crit?
that's a crit.
That's a crit.
So, with great effect, and a second transcendence burned in, you see. Well, how does the wizard create this limiting crown for Wukong? You tell me.
I think the wizard just slowly becomes more and more like Wukong as it approaches it from behind, and when Wukong's reflexes finally kick in and it turns around, they're like mirrored opposites, and the thing just like takes the crown as Wukong regards it quizzically, tilting its head to the side and things, and just places it gently upon its head.
It's the original circlet that Wukong wore was this golden circlet that curled up in opposite directions. This one looks like it's made out of these 8-sided like hedrons that just go around almost like a chain, just linked together, because everything about the wizard is just it's polygons.
Yep.
Right. And it sits, and you see the hair just like all of a sudden, and it looks at you, and it puts its hands together, and it falls backwards into the water and splays itself out.
Before it goes,
floats
that
there.
can Anubis, who Beowulf, because Beowulf went in towards the water and like picks them up in this bipedal form and drags it towards the shore before he does that.
The intention there is it's like he is exhausted and like splays out. But yes, absolutely, you're able to catch as they fall backwards and recover Wukong again with this half glowing green circlet upon them. And you turn and you look at the Iliad floating like a mile or two off up in the sky, and it's watching. It was waiting for suppressing fire, but then they're like, oh shit, we haven't built cannons on this thing that are sufficient enough to take something down. They were waiting for word. You seem to have handled everything, and you hear come over the intercom, and Commander Bartok is like, excellent work on the recovery. We've got a maintenance crew dragging the grotto right now for the original crown. Sit tight. We'll make sure that we're ready to receive you as soon as we can. And
Just
go ahead.
sorry to interrupt. Just out of curiosity, do I take harm from the bashing underneath the chin?
You do not. It was a stylized thing. Tamris took the harm for you. That's part of the Guardian thing. They like popped your head up and then went to go in for a massive strike, and Tamris blocked it. As you wait, and again, the water comes not quite to the knees of each of your individual engines. Wukong floats there, just in Beowulf's newfound arms. Behind you, there's an inky cloud that starts to spread out over top of the bastion over on the continent, and technically south of where you are right now. And as you look off in the distance, you see small balls just like coming out of a funnily tornado cloud, sweeping down towards the bastion. You are so far away. The Iliad isn't even able to about face and get there in time and lend aid. As everything evolves into chaos, you see 3 other beings up in the sky. A blue winged dragon, a white tiger and this fiery rainbow bird descend out of this hole in the sky above the bastion, and the tiger and the dragon just kind of like fuck off in a direction, and this fiery bird goes down and starts laying flame to the domes around the bastion, torching the cities from above as these small round balls come in and start essentially attacking the populace.
Gladys, no.
Gladys is going to be all right.
Oh no.
She's going to drop the hammer.
She's gonna drop the hammer.
You moving into our third stage for Girl by Moonlight, and advancing our clock a little bit. We've hit the point of tier 3 for the last bastion, where we've advanced our adversary track. The bastion has existed not so much in a everyone's been complacent the whole time, trusting implicitly in your ability to save them. And because of that, and because of the scenario where you're all cogs in the machine, so to speak, they'd never considered that anything would ever come from anywhere other than the sea. It's worth pointing out that those 3 beings, all the size of that Genbu creature that you fought the first time around. There are 4 guardian deities associated with cardinal directions, and they are Genbu, Byakuo, Suzaku, and Seryu. Suzaku being a giant firebird, Seryu being a blue dragon, Byakuo being a big old tiger, and Genbu being the black turtle of the south. They are prime deities and gods, and they're torching your town right now. One of them, at least. This is the fallout as the result of the number of rolls and the number of successes and failures that you had throughout the game. We're playing with a little bit of a twist on original Blades in the Dark rules, where I'm keeping track of every dice that you're actually rolling, thanks to using something like Roll20. You are absolutely a threat to the gods based on the sheer amount of luck that you have had. And again, if you find yourselves as bumbling idiots that just barely managed to save the day, your enemies don't regard you with any kind of seriousness either, and they'll get you next time gadget next time. But y'all are pretty proficient at what you do.
Unfortunately for us, we're good, and so good enemies like us.
They
We're
like us.
so good.
So you find yourselves out to sea, holding an engine that is being contained by Franklin's power. The Iliad is going to scramble and do what it can. Wukong has a crown supposedly on the Iliad somewhere in Epic Park. And then let's see how the Bastion's doing. We won't be back next week, but we'll be back the week after because we got a stat holiday in Canada and we never play on stat Mondays. Let's award some XP. So you guys were clicking the XP track every time you rolled something in Sun, Moon, and Stars? I hope. Wink,
I
wink.
missed one.
Okay. All right. Thankfully, again, because we're doing this in Roll20, it keeps a track record of everything that we do and every roll that you make, as long as you interact with the character sheet. Go ahead and roll me 2d6 this time because we're on our second tier. That's 7 for Xena, 4 for Tamnus, 6 for Anne, and 8 for Franklin. Distribute those points that you've rolled into each of your Sun, Moon, and Stars category, or sorry, as your XP. And anything left over that you want to use, you can use to improve the flagship. the Iliad. The Iliad currently has no XP in its upgrade bar, so you would all have to put a lot in to make a connection.
I'm going to put in 3 XP from the 7 that I had, and I'm upgrading my moon so I can get a point in forgive.
I
No,
like it.
sorry. I'm going to put it into my sun to
Mhm.
upgrade my defy.
Understood.
I
Everybody
have
else?
4 more XP that I can give to the Iliad.
Okay.
Franklin gave a couple to the Iliad last time, so I'm only gonna give 1 to the Iliad, and I'm gonna fully max out Sun so I can get a point in empathize.
Ooh, I like
Am
it.
I allowed to upgrade my thing into the Transcendent?
You most certainly are. However, so if you upgrade, say you have conceal with 3 points, unless you're transcended, it only counts as 2 points.
I'm going to not do that for now.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to do other things.
So the Iliad has it needs 3 more points to qualify for an upgrade.
I have 2 XP sitting in pools waiting to be used. I'm allowed to use those. Or since they're already assigned to stars and moon, I can't.
Yeah,
They're not in the
they
main
stay
XP.
in stars and
They're
moon.
in the pools. Okay.
Yeah.
Got
And
it.
what does it take to upgrade one of the 9? Like if I already have one checked off, how do I get?
So when you fill up your bar for sun, moon, or stars,
Yeah.
you can increase something within that pool.
Does it have to be on the line, or can I go
Nope,
sideways?
you can build it out. The
Okay.
bonus XP that I did at the very beginning of the game, I just
Good.
wanted to have as a baseline. But if you're spending XP, go for it.
All
So
right.
we got 7 XP into the Iliad. That is just enough to upgrade it, which means that you guys have, just as trouble was brewing, somebody threw the last switch on the upgrades that you guys have meticulously planned that Franklin's led. The crepe station in the mess hall absolutely works 100% now, all the time. And the DDR machine no longer rains on your head onto an electrical panel. Like, that was a really, really poor decision for a little while. But because of the upgrade, you have the ability to upgrade another room outside the command bridge. So if you go into the Epic and Flagship placemat that we have in Roll20, you have some choices you can make. You can upgrade your engineering, your training facility. Again, the hangar itself, don't worry about so much. We can skip over that one, given the short-term nature of our game. So power source, engineering, training facility, or observatory.
No lie, I was looking at the observatory as well as the power source.
I kind of like the observatory, and it would definitely help.
So I will put this out there. The Hunt Leviathan mission was the first scenario, and the Recover Engine mission was the second scenario. The observatory technically won't give you a whole lot in the third scenario.
I mean, engineering that could help us potentially get a crit if you guys want to work on long-term projects next time and go into our final encounter with lots of shiny new toys.
Tamris had also expressed liking those 2 XP into Sun as a downtime action last game.
Yeah, I like that too. But I don't think we're going to need a training facility when the city's already burning.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the idea of if we all band together for a last long-term project to help defeat the Leviathans. And then we do our best to crit as many times as we have again.
So engineering then?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. You activate the engineering bay. Somebody throws a lever and the lights turn on in a room. It's got all sorts of mechanisms and fancy new gear that's been requisitioned that they finally got around to installing because they had nothing to do during this scramble. Yeah, that's the fallout of your that covers the majority of the fallout for Act 2. You have a couple of minutes left. How do you feel?
Well, I felt really good for a minute.
Yeah.
Full of pride and just like connected to everybody, and then seeing what's coming, she shrinks a little bit. Tamara's absolutely kind of just overwhelmed with the stress again. It was only a brief high.
Anne?
You want my sarcastic answer or my character answer? Because my character is
What's Anne feel?
was Anne feel devastated and lied to.
You were told that you could always protect everyone forever.
Mm-hmm.
If only you'd all had way more absolute passionate love.
Sarcastic answer is good thing the only people I care about are out here at sea.
We're fine. We're fine. We're in battle suits. So good. Franklin?
I think Franklin is still carrying on. I don't know if Franklin knows which him came back from that alternate timeline. So he's raring for a fight. And
you also are not wearing your crown currently in this Wukong mentality. So I feel like you're probably stimming pretty hard at this point.
Yeah.
Like
he's definitely got like he doesn't really know where he is. He's lost in a different sense than he usually is in the Wizard.
It's a much different experience at this point. And Xena, what's going through Xena's mind?
Xena is actually reciting a portion from Beowulf, where she goes, "So these noble warriors lodged in their delights blissfully until their lonely opponent made evil upon them." And then she crushes her fists in her new, like, upright form, looking up and going, "Death comes for everyone, though.
Yep.
Even gods."
And we'll leave it there because we're running to the end of the night. Thank you. It was a little longer in the beginning, but that worked out really well. More Girl by Moonlight. And thank you to the 32 people that tuned in tonight to check things out. So it was a good time. What do we have on the go? Let's see. We are going to be volunteering with Enchanted Okotoks in a couple of weeks for as a part of Earth MMO's alpha testing. So if you're able to come out to Okotoks on the 16th and 17th of September, it's about 4 hours each day. All of the dialogue in the game, or most of it, was either written by myself or by our good friends from Fantasy by Numbers. We've got like half the town of downtown dressing up and cosplaying and gussing up their businesses and stuff. You can come walk around, get some exercise. It's an augmented reality game. We're gonna fight some goblins and dragons and have a good time. Beyond that, we're amping up for a Roll for Wishes game at the end of October. We're going to have a 9-hour marathon stream with live interaction from the audience where they can donate magic items and extra dice. And if you're not familiar with the format, we've got a bunch of extra videos on YouTube that showcase how we take care of that. To the rest of you guys, anything new and exciting coming up anytime soon? Life is good.
We're going to be back here in 2 weeks playing Girl by Moonlight.
I like it. Awesome. Ms. of Revan, are you appearing on any streams in the coming weeks for?
I will be. I will be live on D and Denial, as Jim of Revan, playing another Moonlight Warrior with a sword. It's great, and a shield. It's great. We're facing shadow monsters. It's fine.
It's been a good time so far. I've got
September.
one of the sessions.
Yeah. September 6th is our second session.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I like it. And Mr. Alex, are you going to be running anything Lancer or otherwise anytime soon?
You can catch me whenever you want on Ukua Station. That's where I generally play Lancer with an HP Shaka. Shout out. And yeah, I've got some Bleeds in the Darks things cooking up soon, so keep an eye out for that.
Excellent. Excellent. We will catch everybody in 2 weeks' time, and we've got a extra special roll for beer that we're going to be filming tomorrow at Vacay Bruco. We're going to be sitting down with Brad and I believe it's Andrew. He might crucify me for forgetting the name there. We're going to be talking about what goes into actually starting a business and running it through, and have a couple of brews and have a good time. And that'll be tomorrow night. May not be live though, depending on logistics. We'll sort it out. So thank you everybody for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.